The crossover is powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Mr. Irrational Confidence. I like it. You and Russell Westbrook.
What do I got irrational confidence about?
Could you beat the gorilla on your own?
What gorilla?
Oh, Connor.
You haven't been following? Oh, you're dialed into Creighton
What you
baseball
know
now, trying to
about
figure
me,
out
big
how did the 8-game winning
TLO?
streak come to an end yesterday, and also how come I can't hear anymore because 8,000 kids were screaming the entire time.
Yeah,
They all had to leave at 1:30.
they were pretty chill though. They were pretty chill.
Is this generation raising chill kids?
They were pretty chill.
How old were these?
I am trying to figure that out. And what's this about the gorilla?
Okay, the gorilla?
This
Yeah.
is something
Have
we've
you not
talked
heard
about
about
on the
this?
show before, but has now gone viral this week.
Okay,
So the
so what is
question
it?
of if you had one male large silverback gorilla and he fought 100 average men, so think 100 Matt McMaskers, 5'10", 180 pounds, who would win in a fight? The 100 men or the one gorilla?
Probably the one gorilla.
Okay. I'm in the minority here.
Yeah.
You guys don't know. You guys,
gorilla.
I'm trying to educate
gorilla.
people. I'm trying to educate people here.
You don't have any weapons, right? You don't have any knives.
No.
You know.
But if you all banded together and you had a good coach to put everybody together and understand, hey, we have to attack this guy as a group, that a gorilla, which doesn't have a lot of stamina, would eventually get tired.
So I'd be worried about so you would have to attack it in waves, right? It'd be 7 to 10 to 15 at a time.
You would have to do a gradual increase, in my opinion.
Okay. So
And then
The
the last
thing that
one
I'd be
has to be
concerned
like
about-
40.
the thing that I would be concerned about is somebody not pulling their weight, right? It takes everybody
$1,000,000%.
to pull the tug of war
It has to, and
to pull the rope.
I told Gary this. This is what happens in actual war. You need a commander
Yeah.
to tell
Whoa.
people, hey, some of you are going to have to die in order for us
Exactly.
to accomplish what
Exactly.
we're going to accomplish, right?
Yeah, I think there would be a line of U's going after this gorilla,
Knowing that they
and then
are,
2 or 3 of them in the middle just be zip, I'm out of here.
no, that's the problem. So that is the argument. Your only argument against this not
need
working for
complete
me is
buy-in.
that
Yeah.
they will chicken out. But once again, I keep saying this, you have to have a good coach to tell these guys, look, 20 of you got to die, 30 of you have to die, for
You'll be dead.
70 of us could survive.
Yep.
Because if you start running away, we're all going to die.
This is why we got to take you to the zoo and you got to see these suckers up close.
These, what do you
They're
mean?
mammoth.
I
Yeah.
have seen these.
They-
I sound like I've never seen
They
a gorilla
will run
before.
up to the window and
Yeah.
Remember what was it?
It broke the glass.
Yeah, it
sometime.
broke the glass.
They have broken. They don't break the glass.
See, now I
It
don't
just-
want
They
to.
have broken the glass.
It
Look.
breaks the glass, but it's not like all of a sudden the gorilla is
Everybody
out.
knows that I'm not
The
afraid
people.
of.
Yeah, we are not trying to cause panic here.
Everybody knows that I'm not afraid of land animals. I'm just afraid of sea animals.
Yeah, you should be afraid of a gorilla.
Sea animals scare the crap out of me. I don't. If I was meant to live in the ocean, I would have gills. Okay. Guess what? I don't have
Gills.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
See, I would
don't-
have thought that maybe. I mean, I knew you were smart, but the fact that you could land a plane, I thought maybe you would be like, you know what? Today, I think I could beat up a silverback.
No, I think you know your boundaries and you know what your strengths are.
I thought you were calling me smart for a second.
So I think
compliment.
he was talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt. I don't think so. We'll take you to the zoo. You'll meet Mr. Gorilla, and you'll say,
I'm not saying that I myself, one individual, could beat up a gorilla.
Nobody's saying that. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay. I'm just saying, if you got 100 of me, I bench press 205.
I don't think it matters.
They are
205 for 4.
enormous.
I could get one rep at 225 right now.
The sheer power.
Whoa.
No, I couldn't.
You think you can throw
Sorry.
2 plates right now?
I haven't worked out in 2 months.
That's
so
a
no.
claim.
Mike Eckler?
That's
Nope.
an interesting claim.
Nope. I
13
unfortunately
of
have
them.
not. I have not been able to bench press.
Once
work out a lot.
When I was lifting weights as a requirement for school / sports or whatever it was.
Oh, that's right. You went to a junior college.
That's exactly right. I
That's right.
bench press 225. I threw 2 plates on the bar one time, and I got it up one time.
Nice.
And then I quit benching. I never benched again.
So I.
What'd you get in that
Because I
class?
stopped. In baseball, you got credits for baseball in junior college, and I got an A. Junior college is amazing, really, when you think about it. It says right there in the transcript, and then I went to Nebraska, and they were like, I don't think
Baseball's
I
gonna transfer.
don't think you get credit for that. Baseball.
It's like, hey, Connor, I don't think your Swahili credit is going to get over here either. You actually wasted time over there because you had
100%.
0 credits.
100%.
I threw up 215 for one time in November.
And are you done?
And then
Are you chasing the dream?
And then I never one rep max again. And then I moved here, and then I was able to get in some workouts while I was early on. But I've just kind of
You're not chasing the dream anymore.
no, I haven't been working out enough. If I'm being honest with you, just
Yeah, you got to put too much work
going
into
on.
it.
Yeah, there's been I got to get back into it. I got to get back.
Yeah,
on
you're
the
always
grind.
driving to Lincoln for press conferences.
Got the Derby this weekend. He's got to study.
Whoa.
Oh yeah,
I'm putting together a little derby for my draft order for fantasy football. Little derby pool.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So we did that.
So
I was in a pool. I was in a pool for college basketball,
Mhm.
and how we decided who picked what teams for the pool. We all got a golfer for the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And then whatever the golfer. I like that though. Everybody gets a horse.
I'm doing it. Well, not everybody gets a horse. I'm leaving it up to you. I'm leaving it up to the league members to pick their horses. So I tiered out the horses.
Yeah.
You can pick 2 from the first tier, 2 from the second tier, and then 1 long shot, and then all the times add up at the end, and then
Oh wow.
the lowest time gets the.
I like that a lot. That's creative.
I just figured I made it up a little bit. One person has submitted their picks so far.
What do they got?
And we thank that person. Sandman, Rodriguez, Grande, Citizen Bowl, and Meyer Daytona is the long shot.
That's pretty good. I like.
Is that a
Citizen
good
Bowl.
card?
If I'm being full transparency, I haven't done as much research on the middle pack of the horses or my long shots or anything like that. I currently have 2 horses I like, or 3. I have 3 horses I like: Owen Almighty, East Avenue, and Journalism.
Okay, Journalism is the favorite.
Yeah,
Yes.
he is a
What a name.
What a day
Well-
for journalism.
he is a
That's what-
tremendous
Do you
machine.
think-
That's what Mike Tirico's
That's
gonna
what
say.
Tirico's going to say. What a day for journalism
Do you think if
with a capital
do you think
J.
if journalism doesn't win, people say that's fake news?
No.
It's a bad
No,
day
it's
for
the call- the
journalism.
What if
call-
Oh my
journalism
God, journalism broke his
broke his
leg.
leg? Journalism is dead.
Journalism is dead. We had to shoot
The
journalism.
call is going to be write it into the history books. Journalism wins the 120 whatever Kentucky Derby.
Just like they did in 1940 something when papers were good.
What if you start just
Remember
rattling-
that?
Hey, just rattling off characters that have been in journalism type movies or shows. Like you'd start rattling off people from Newsroom.
Oh my God. Spotlight.
Warn the presses. Journalism wins the
They
Kentucky
knew.
Derby.
They knew. We got to get these scumbags. They knew.
20 years. 20 years. We had them the whole time. They
That's
were
what
in our-
Tirico should
They
do.
were in our basement, John. They were there. We had the clippings, and we did nothing
We
about
did
it.
nothing.
The NFL has fined the Falcons
Oh, yeah.
$250K.
That's cool. You got to close up your iPad, buddy.
Whoa,
I guess old what's his weird son's name?
Jax.
Jax spelled not correctly. That
There's
well,
are there any
they
names
will take
nowadays spelled correctly?
$100K away from him.
Yes.
Poor
So
kid.
his
His allowance just went
allowance
down.
is going to be taking a ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not advocating to beat the crap out of your kid, but I'd beat the crap out of my kid.
Yeah.
At
It's
that
pretty,
age?
it's pretty rough.
Like, isn't that
hot take.
Do you think it's fair to beat the hell out of your kid after he's 18? Like before you're in trouble.
Nobody's beating the hell
You-
out of anyone.
You make an adult decision, you get an adult consequence.
You know what? I think it's the least surprising thing that the kid goes to Ole Miss. That's
because
why-
of what happened with the other thing.
Just other things. You can go down the list, my man.
Well,
There's a
Did,
lot of
did
things.
Jeff Elbrick bang this Jax's girlfriend?
Yeah.
And
And
this
the
was
most-
Hey,
his-
allegedly.
this was
Oh,
his vengeance.
oh.
that was the other thing at Ole Miss. Yeah.
Hey, Mary Kate did nothing wrong. All right,
That's her
we
story.
have to say that. I don't want any lawyers.
I heard she didn't do anything.
I
Yeah.
don't want to. I don't want to have lawyers emailing me like I work at Barstool. All right.
I don't think she is
I-
sued yet. So once she sues, then we know it was fake. Right?
Mary
Isn't
Kate
that
did
how it
nothing
works?
now,
wrong.
now it's just words.
Mary
just
Kate
words.
is a great citizen.
We love Mary Kate.
We love Mary Kate.
Thank you, Mary Kate.
Thank you, Mary Kate.
And thank you, Jax, with an X.
Why is that? I mean, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but why do you that you can't be doing that? Why do you record yourself doing the prank call?
For the clicks.
Yeah,
But
clout, buddy.
why? No, you do see, everybody wants attention nowadays. I feel like back in the day when it came to pranks, it was just for you and your buddies.
That's right.
It was just for a good old laugh amongst your friends. It wasn't part of the prank is it's a bad thing and you don't want people to know that you did it.
That's right.
Hence why you hang up or why you run away
By the way,
on a ding dong ditch.
I have video. I have obtained exclusive video of my daughter.
Oh Lord, I thought you were gonna say me. I thought
She-
one of my friends leaked something.
Look at this, Matt. She tried to call Shador Sanders yesterday.
Whoa.
She's calling Shador Sanders. Oh, no, don't call Shador Sanders. He's going to get mad.
Why is your daughter wearing a gas mask?
Why are you talking like that?
That's just how I talk.
Shador Sanders.
That's his not radio voice.
Yeah, that's how I talk in real life. This is how I talk on the radio.
I don't.
She got a hold of the phone and she dialed up Shador Sanders.
I probably should have.
And Shador says, "This is perfect timing. Thank you for calling."
perfect timing.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
nice. 2 and 2 together.
Well, should we be doing a video to apologize?
I don't know. We'll see how much she gets fined by me.
We're taking away $100,000 worth of
Your
Cheerios.
nap
So's
time's
had a good
getting
week.
little
She's
shorter.
gone viral. She's out there. Pictures.
I know.
I know she's a superstar.
She's crawling around
Come on.
the booths.
I bet she would have more followers than I would on Twitter.
Definitely.
She definitely would. People love babies.
Yeah,
Babies and dogs.
I was about to say.
That's why you should have them together.
I hate dogs.
I know, and that's why it'll be
Wow.
rough in your house.
No, I don't hate dogs. That was
You
a
just-
lie.
moderately dislike them.
That's what the audience says about him, so he leaned into the bit just there.
Just kidding.
What
See,
if,
when you lean into
what
a
if your
bit,
dog-
people know that you're leaning into a bit. When I lean into a bit, I'm an idiot. You know,
Well, get better bits.
I don't.
What if your daughter wanted cats?
What if she wants cats?
Yes.
Multiple cats?
Multiple cats.
Yeah, you should get a.
I w-
Multiple
I think
cats?
that I would say no cats.
So we're gonna have no pets.
You should get.
I don't
a
have
cat.
enough room for this.
You should get a cat and name him after a charcuterie board item because that's what everybody's doing now.
Oh, really? Like
yeah.
what? Like
Olive,
oh, okay.
pesto.
Calmata, get over here.
Yeah, yeah. Salami. Capicola, blue cheese,
Blue
pecorino,
cheese?
pecorino romano.
People are
No.
naming their cats blue cheese.
I'm making jokes now.
What
Now
about
it's a bit.
what's the prosciutto?
Prosciutto.
Oh,
See,
that is
yeah.
the
That
that
would
is
be
the
a good
star
cat
of the charcuterie.
It's
tray.
velvety.
You know what? Do
Uh,
not give anybody. We already have kids that are being scorned because of names by parents that are being stupid.
Jax.
Like giving them names that once they go to school they're going to
Felony.
get bullied and they're going to make fun of, and then once you pass away they're going to change their name.
Wow, is this true?
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Really?
I would never do that to
I
my
don't
kids. If give them a name that is so off the wall
I would
that
hope.
kids are going to be like,
Yeah, but-
you're a.
Yeah,
I
but
would-
now what's happening is the names aren't actually that weird. It's just the spellings
know.
of
Right,
the name.
right.
I hope Melanomia McMaster would always keep their name forever.
Melanomia.
Yeah.
That is a weird name.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
Felony.
That would be a bad
Come
name.
here, felony.
Felony is a name.
That's a name?
No, I'm just making.
Is that like a video?
Yeah.
Okay.
felony? Come
I haven't
here,
seen it.
felony.
I'm sorry. I haven't caught up on this whole gorilla thing or the people saying whatever they're saying.
I think the ones that annoy me the most is like, as opposed to like having an EN or an IN, you do a YN.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
everybody's
Kristen.
everybody's naming their kid Hudson or whatever.
Yeah.
They now just the adaptation of 2025 is HUDSYN.
Yeah. No. That what is
But
the
and
Come
that-
on, Shafe.
And that could be a girl.
yeah. But
Yes.
what's the point?
I don't know
Like-
I don't know what about the Y makes it a girl name.
So wait.
But
Isn't
I
that-
think that's right. Like the Y makes it more girly.
why?
I don't know.
Why?
I think that's right though.
But like, what is the point of a Y? Like you say it the same, right?
Yeah.
You say it the same exact way.
Yeah.
So why put the Y in there?
So throw a Y in there.
Just because you're trying to be different and cool.
Maybe
and
it's their favorite
and like
letter.
when you're obviously trying to be different and cool.
Mm. Mm.
No, thank you. YN shouldn't exist. Who
What
the hell
letter?
thought that was good?
I know so many kids named Hudson.
That's been a popular.
So many.
Yeah.
So many children.
There's just too many. And also, too, it's like we're getting too many regional names. Like if I meet another person in Minnesota named Hunter or Chase, like they're all,
I bet there are a lot of
there are
hunters.
so many hunters.
Yeah.
There's so many hunters in
There's
Minnesota.
a lot of Gabes in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Gabe.
Yes.
Interesting.
Which was a popular name a little bit way back.
What are there a lot of in Nebraska?
Ben.
A lot of Bens.
A lot of Bens.
Um,
I've met two different Gages.
Hmm.
Like two different humans named Gauge, like a tire gauge. You know?
Yeah, there's some gauges out
Or
there.
like a 12 gauge shotgun. Or something.
Nebraska football is a gauge.
Yeah. Gauge Kinger.
Oh, and he has a brother named Blake, who you saw yesterday.
Yeah, and I actually called him Gauge.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I was like, "Oop," thinking of his brother.
Yeah,
Sorry,
bad broadcast.
Nebraska.
Gage plays football at
I would
Nebraska,
never.
and
Yes.
Blake is a starting outfielder for Omaha.
Yeah.
Gabe plays baseball for Nebraska.
Gabe Swansen.
Swanson.
Yes, we're talking about the Stingers.
Well,
Yeah.
we were just talking about Gabe's.
that,
Isn't there?
you got it, Josh.
Attaboy, Josh.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You got it.
Some of us are slower than others.
Gabe Jacas plays defensive line at Illinois.
Mm.
Just talking about Gabe's.
What's Yakachonis' name?
Kasparis.
He plays basketball at Illinois.
There you go.
Ton of those.
There's a lot of.
so
I mean,
does
look
his
at
five-
Illinois' basketball
His
roster.
5 cousins. His
Have
5
you-
cousins.
Have you seen Brad Underwood?
Can we
Yes.
get the Illinois basketball play-by-play guy on the
Brian
show or
Barnhart?
something?
Oh, you're gonna have some fun.
Markic,
Itch.
Ivasic, Tom Slavovich.
I mean, Kent already, like it's troublesome. You got to be Yucatan gel
Oh yeah,
and now we're calling the new guy Boogie or Oogie or
yeah.
whatever his name is.
Look, I'm telling you right now,
He's going to have to say his full name at some point.
Well, there used to be, like if
It's
you were
not that
doing a
hard.
hockey game when they do exhibitions, and you might be playing a Russian team,
Uh-huh.
or you would
Yeah.
do, like basketball. They used to have a lot more exhibition games, and it'd be like Up with the World or whatever. You might be a Russian team, so you'd have all these Russian names.
I'm telling you, you want to announce Sweden games for hockey because they're easy. Carlson, Johansson, Larson, like Dahlin.
Just a couple extra S's.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
St. John's was a fun team to call, as Bishop could attest to. They do not have a lot of easy names.
Zubiejifor.
They have the guy that just transferred to Georgetown, Vincent.
Oh yeah.
Wachtu.
Yeah.
How about Kadari? Kadari.
Kadari's been around. Kadari's played college basketball for 40 years.
What
He
was
should
I-
be used
Who
to that.
hasn't?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What were we about to say here? Oh yeah, when Brad Underwood comes here to Nebraska in February, he's
Yeah.
going to be sitting down smoking a cigarette at the press conference.
Yeah. Did we talk about
We played a great
his
game.
AI picture?
So good.
Talked about this.
Okay, you did? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it was.
Vulcan
I
Brad, baby.
don't know. He's interesting. Would you want to have a beer with Brad
No,
Underwood?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
No chance.
But Brad Underwood doesn't drink beer. He drinks vodka.
I don't want to hang out with Brad Underwood at all.
Is there a coach like that you do want to hang out with? Every time we have these combos, you just want to stay away from coaches at all points.
That's not true. Wait, what's another example of this?
Kurt Signetti, you have
I don't like him.
Dion. Don't like him either.
I would have a beer with Dion. I would have a beer with Dion. I would like to hang out
You
with
would
Dion.
not have a beer with Dion.
He doesn't.
Would Dion
he
have a
doesn't
beer
drink.
with you?
Dion, of course, would not have a beer
Yeah.
with me.
Oh yeah, after Shador slides was like
Hey, we didn't do that. I guess we did.
You.
We didn't make it happen though.
you didn't make a graphic over it or anything like
Um,
that.
I don't know. He's after my dealings in Fort Myers with him, he's very interesting.
Coach Prime?
Well, I got in the span of an hour and 10-minute meeting both Dion and Coach Prime.
Oh,
I saw the two personalities switch.
okay.
It
Really?
was pretty, because we were trying to do a bobblehead because he is from North Fort Myers.
Okay.
And we had a great relationship with his mom, who is a wonderful person, still lives in Fort Myers. And we had been trying this, and finally we got a meeting, and a lot of people showed up.
Sure.
A lot of people.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
Our
Like the
conference
Husker
room
garage
was
sale.
almost not as big.
You're like, I didn't know this many people worked here.
Yeah. So I got to see both personalities. Yeah.
Which one's cooler? Which one would you like to have a beer
The
with?
regular Dion, the citizen,
Yeah.
great. But then we flipped into businessman Prime,
Mm.
and the deal went, and they walked out.
Let's talk.
I'm gonna need $1 million.
Let's talk
I'm
brass
gonna need,
tacks.
I'm gonna need $1 million, baby.
Yeah.
Look at
Like-
me, baby.
Excuse me, we're the Fort Myers Miracle. We don't have.
We really just
Any
need
money.
you to say it's okay to use your likeness.
That's all I was looking for. And then
we don't have
It-
any money for you.
it went
Dion.
upside down, and we're going to make a nice donation to his mother's charity.
What a gesture.
And
How about Coach Prime?
then it
baby?
just somehow it took a left turn and drove into the swamp.
If Prime's gonna be a bobblehead, Prime needs cheddar.
Ed
Let me
writes
tell
in,
you what, man.
he said, can you guys discuss this phenomenon that has overtaken Omaha?
Gorillas.
The
Bigfoot?
resurgence of Texas Roadhouse.
Have you heard about Bigfoot though?
The resurgence of Texas Roadhouse.
I did not know. Is this
there,
new?
There are more
No.
Texas Roadhouses.
It's always
I
busy.
can't
Texas-
eat at Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, hey, Texas Roadhouse, the hot rolls and the good service.
Mhm.
Texas Roadhouse is a banger.
I
And
can't,
you're right. It is
exactly.
always busy in this town.
I don't know that
I can't do. I literally.
It is.
calling it-
It's always busy.
it's always busy.
Go to
That
the
doesn't
one
mean
in
it's
Council
a
Bluffs.
banger.
Go to the one off of Dodge. Seriously.
Oh,
Or
I
the
know.
one out
There's one
at
in
Shadow
Papil-
Ridge.
Yeah.
Always packed.
I know.
I have banned myself from Texas Roadhouses because I don't have a proper meal. I just eat the bread.
That's right. You have a problem with food.
Yes, and in particularly with bread.
You can't control yourself.
I cannot do it. Like I said, with the bread. And the bread there is so damn good. Like
That's
at
right.
Red Lobster, when I go with my father, he's got a hog because they got great bread there too. He's got to put it to a side because he knows it'll eat too much. So I banned myself from Roadhouse.
You talk about the butter biscuits, the cheddar biscuits.
Yeah, can't because
You know you can buy those at the store.
I cannot. Like, I would be like
I'm going to
already-
guess they don't taste the same.
I don't know.
I've already told you that I haven't worked out enough in the last 2 months, and I am like gaining a little bit of weight. Like the last thing I need is be able to go
What's
out.
wrong
and
with
get-
that?
Well, I got to stay in shape, man.
You could look like a true Nebraskan.
I'm single. I'm not ready to gain weight. All right. I need
Hmm.
to jawline needs to stay good. I gotta stay in fit. I gotta stay in shape. I'm not 6'3", right? I don't have curly hair. I don't have blue eyes. So I don't have any of the things that are going for me. So I have to stay in shape.
Blue eyes.
Oh,
That's the better eye.
girls.
Oh, yes, it
love-
is.
Oh my God.
Oh, God, yeah.
Is this true?
My
Josh,
mother-
can you confirm this?
I'm sorry. What?
Blue eyes are the best.
Are blue
Yes, they
eyes
are.
better than
Oh my
brown
God,
eyes?
yes.
What? Hold on. In what context? I'm sorry.
I'm guessing you're going through a rough patch. There's a lot of nose.
No,
It's because of your brown eyes.
I really don't. No, it's because of my bad
I
personality.
think you have lovely eyes.
no, brown eyes on a man don't
I
matter.
do not.
I have brown
what do you mean?
eyes.
Oh,
my eyes.
They might
don't
not
mean a
matter, but
thing.
you know what? Blue eyes put you ahead of you brown eyes.
What about
people.
hazel?
I don't.
I have
It's really
crap
gonna pop.
brown eyes. I have the type of brown eyes that you see in a toilet.
So
Okay,
do I.
there is exactly, and it does nothing for us.
You don't. I
all
don't
right?
see
It does
any
zero.
eyes in any
Works
toilets.
fine for me,
My-
Matt.
my-
I've never been to one.
My
Never seen
dad
that.
has blue eyes, and my mother to this day goes, "If you didn't have blue eyes, you wouldn't be born."
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the thing. It's
Wow.
blue.
Blue-
Look,
hey.
you. How do you not know? See, you have been so blinded by your arrogance to have blue eyes that you've never really
It's my-
noticed
it's
that
my-
you have a gift.
It's my
You
blue
have a
eye
gift.
privilege, I guess.
It is
This
your
is
privilege.
this is my privilege.
If you had to wear contacts and they were colored contacts, what color would you choose?
I would choose blue eyes in an instant.
I wouldn't wear colored contacts. Why would I change
used
the
to be a
color
thing.
of my
Because
eyes?
exactly because your eyes are beautiful, and yet you don't know that.
I've always looked at people with brown eyes like, well, I kind of like those. Let me get some of those. I want some brown eyes.
You don't even know.
I like
how
brown
good
eyes.
You have it. You have it so good. What I would do to have those eyes.
It can't be that much better.
Yes, it is 1,000,000%, without a doubt. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like on the battle lines.
It
I'm
can't-
fighting a war out here.
It
Right, you're
can't-
cooped up with your beautiful child, and I haven't met your wife. I'm sure she's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm on the front grounds.
All three of us, by the way, blue eyes.
Exactly.
Welcome to
Soph's
the
eyes
club.
are gonna
It's
pop.
and look, I am the most average looking man, right? So I have to work out. So I have slightly bigger muscles
Are you having
and
a
a nicer
meltdown?
jawline. What?
Yeah.
You having a meltdown?
This whole eyes.
What
thing.
happened? What did she do to you?
I believe it's called
I
a.
d- I
What do
don't
the
even
kids
have-
call it?
I
A
don't even have
crash?
interest in
Crash
it.
Yeah, I
out?
think
Oh,
he's
crash
crashing.
out.
Crash
Yeah,
out.
you're
Crash out.
crashing out.
Giannis crashed out last night.
What is the what's the list? The world's hottest, world's sexiest people. Let's go take a look.
People,
The
People.
world's sexiest.
Was it
World's
John
sexiest-
Krasinski again this year?
world's sexiest man.
John Hamm?
Did they
World's
change it to
sexiest man alive.
people? Sexiest man alive.
Sexiest
That's what-
man alive.
Sexiest
That's
Sexiest
what
man
people
alive.
had.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Ryan Reynolds. It's Hugh Jackman. It's Chris Evans.
Stephen A.
it's
Smith.
These
Michael B. Jordan made
these are-
it one year.
These are attractive people.
All right, Krasinski, aka Jim Halpert.
Yeah, but how tall is Jim Halpert?
He got buff.
He's a tall dude,
Yeah, he got ripped.
Michael B. Jordan doesn't look like he has blue eyes.
but he's got. I mean,
Krasinski's
Josh.
Josh,
What?
Stop, Josh.
He doesn't.
he's got
That's
like blue
factually
gray.
correct.
That's right.
Patrick Dempsey, he's got blue eyes.
He-
Is Patrick Dempsey still on that list?
Yes.
He
It's
is
all because of the
2023.
hair.
He was.
He has stayed on that list
Yes.
forever.
By the way, all
Chris
of the
Evans
women
blue.
I talk to women my age, they all talk about how much they love
Is
Patrick Dempsey.
Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's kind of green.
Paul Rudd
Interesting.
should not be on that. list.
Michael B. Jordan.
Grey's Anatomy still
Not
on
blue.
there?
Yes,
Yes.
20 years
Still.
now.
Yeah.
That one actress is still acting and doing it.
How did Blake Shelton win this?
Blake Shelton's a good-looking man.
Well,
You
during
think so?
Yeah.
I think people forget
Well,
how hot
what-
the voice was at one time.
By the way, how did Blake Shelton get on this? How tall is Blake Shelton?
Oh, he's pretty tall.
Good
He's
He
a
is
big
tall.
guy.
Yeah, he's pretty
That's a
tall.
thing.
David Beckham.
Yeah.
You're a lot-
Why did you look at you said David Beckham and looked at me like we're comparable? That's David
I
Beckham.
didn't. That wasn't the insinuation.
You
he has
made an
great.
insinuating look like I had a shot when you read off David Beckham.
How about Chris Hemsworth?
What are we doing? You just picked the epitome of that. Blonde hair, blue eyed, 6'3" from Australia.
You
the
know
guy
what?
is Thor.
Outside of the African American men that I've listed, you might be right, Matt.
Jason Momoa.
I don't see very many people with. I don't see very many white guys with brown eyes on here.
Yeah,
How about
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, they're blue.
They're blue. They're very blue. They're like
they?
dreamy blue. Tom Hiddleston, I think, is on there too.
Matt Damon.
See, that's my closest comp.
Why
is
don't
Matt
they have
Damon.
Clooney.
What do you mean?
Clooney. Clooney's got brown eyes.
Comparing me to Clooney?
You could be
Guys,
Clooney.
guys, Ryan Reynolds has brown eyes.
Does he?
There you go.
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
You said he had blue.
You
I was ready
said
to.
he had
I was
blue.
ready to welcome him into the club.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling has blue eyes.
He's
Getting
that's-
the Ryans
that's a dream.
confused.
Why don't they ever
That's
put like a
the guy.
normal like Steve from West Philadelphia is on the
Because-
top 100 list?
Seriously, there's hot guys out there
Mhm.
everywhere.
See, why didn't you say Matt McMaster? That's exactly my point.
There's hot guys out there everywhere. It doesn't have to be just
I
the
gotta
famous
get back
people.
to working out, and I got to keep playing in this golf league. It's good for my steps. So unfortunately, though, I'm hitting the ball too far, so it's like I'm not walking as much as I used to.
Charles has an interesting twist to all this. He says, I think you just have to be good looking.
Exactly, I'm not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm average.
I think
I had a woman tell me I was a 7.2 out of 10, so I'll
Whoa.
take it.
That's
Now,
pretty good.
This is what you need to do. You need, and it takes a lot of courage. You need to walk into a salon or a barber shop, and you need to say, "I don't know what I'm doing. Could you make all of the decisions for
Fix
me?
me.
Yeah, fix me.
You got a problem with my hair?
I need
You
a
got a
glow
problem?
up."
The one thing I got.
You should
going
go
for
on
me-
Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that show?
Poll question: should Matt McMaster go on Queer Eye?
No.
That show is awesome.
No,
They go
No.
around and they fix everybody.
The last thing that needs fixing is my hair. My hair is
It's
nice.
not just the hair.
I
It's
got
the whole
lettuce.
thing.
Matt works on a sports radio talk show, and he called us desperate for help.
That's been on for a while.
Dude, that show rocks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You know what they're gonna tell me is you need to work out more. You need bigger muscles.
I don't
And
think
you
they
can get
tell
tall.
people that.
No, they tell
just-
people that
yeah.
you need to live a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, they just give them new
I
clothes
haven't
and a
been living a
haircut.
healthy lifestyle.
You know what they'll probably do? They'll probably go to your house and they'll take a whole bunch of stuff off your walls. I bet your walls are an abomination.
I don't have anything on
Mm.
my walls.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
But I'm not even getting to the point where the women come over. They're not even walking into the room.
it's just it's about living the complete life.
I'm
you
a
know?
mess.
I mean, look
I
at
am a
Inland
mess.
Man. When the ex-wife moved back into the house with his two other roommates and she changed all the food and she threw out the Pop-Tarts.
I wasted money on Battleship,
not
and my
watched
life
that?
has never been the same. My life has never been the same since I lost that Battleship.
Would Josh like Landman?
I've never seen that show.
I think you guys should watch it.
It's
Billy
it just,
Bob.
It just sounds like too much like Yellowstone to me.
Yeah, I
No,
thought-
no.
That's what I thought it
No, no,
was.
do
And
not
then you
compare-
just
Hey,
told me that little
hey,
snippet, and I'm like,
no,
that is
Do
nothing
not
like
compare
Yellowstone.
the Patch and Yellowstone. Season 2 is being filmed right now. I think you guys
Okay.
would like Landman.
Interesting.
Now, Tulsa King, have we discussed this before? Did you
I-
get to season 2 and through it?
I've dabbled.
season 3 is
I've
about to come
dabbled
out.
in some Tulsa King.
No.
I'm not coming back.
What season did you bail on?
I believe I finished the first season.
Okay, so I mean, we got taken away at the end of season 1,
Uh-huh.
and you just bailed. Not wanting to know what happened to
I didn't need to.
Vincent Manfredi.
It wasn't weighing on me. No.
I still think that we found something here in this crossover. Basically the sports radio. I mean, Asian Joe says, "Fashion eye for the sports guy. Make it happen, Bravo."
They have NBC has all these sports properties. They could do this on Bravo.
Oh, we would put this on Peacock, and
Yeah.
it would be
Uh-huh.
it would get like a couple clicks
It would.
in between
it-
Big Ten basketball
No.
games.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, what?
What roles would we play? Who would play which one?
I just well, I mean, it doesn't have to be an exact ripoff.
Careful.
It doesn't have to be an exact ripoff. We could do it our own way. But
I kind of like the Asian Joe.
Yeah.
Idea man.
There you
I
go.
like this.
We're thinking now.
We could do it with high profile
Hey, look at
sports people in Omaha and Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like Mac or Crutch or Rule could be our first.
Oh, that'd be a huge get.
Wait. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like,
Do we need to find a single coach or a single?
they all dress pretty well. They all seem like they kind of have it together.
Because they have outfitters.
Does Rule?
Yeah.
Does Rule dress well?
Rule would be the
Rule dress-
third out of the three that you just
Mhm.
mentioned.
Yeah. And that's just a football versus basketball difference, right?
Yeah.
Probably football guy.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah,
little.
well, you just need shorts and like
Just
that
a little
short
messier.
sleeve quarter zip. He wears.
But what two great sports of you can go to work dressed like you're basically playing.
They
every
make
day.
them. They make them look like PJ Fleck or something like that. You know what I mean? They give him some really tight
ties
pants.
are in.
They give him some really tight pants. Throw on a quarter zip and bang.
Cheekbones.
He was playing golf at the Peach Bowl Challenge. You see PJ yesterday?
Whoa.
He was wearing his short shorts.
Oh, I bet he was.
How's
I did
his
not see
face?
him.
He
Same
was
as
wearing a
last
hat.
year?
Had it pulled down.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You guys have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
You all right over there? You're
I'm s-
considering a lot of things.
I'm just hungry.
okay. We'll get you out
You're
of here.
what?
I'm hungry.
Would you go to Burger King?
Yeah, I gotta. Dude, a Whopper Junior sounds great, but this is exactly like why I gain weight. You know, and then I don't look as good, and then the blue eyes can't help me recover.
I eat because I'm sad. And I'm sad.
I'm unhappy because I eat.
You gonna start smoking too?
Already happened, man.
That's a crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Wednesday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Wednesday's an impact weather day with a 70% chance of showers and thunder showers, especially through the first half of your day. High this afternoon in Omaha of 62 degrees with cloudy skies, breezy winds. East-southeasterly wind gusts possible up to 15 to 20 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, mild with a low of 51 and a 20% chance of showers. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you. My sincere thank you goes to Dr. Josh Odson for holding down the fort yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Happy to do it.
I didn't listen to any of the show, but I assume
That would be weird if you did.
well, yeah, because I was gone from the show because I was busy. And so, but I'm told that you dropped in from time to time.
We did.
What a game to drop into, Josh.
Yeah, that's
what a
right.
game. What a game. I kept the crowd mic. I kept the crowd mic down.
I noticed.
There was a couple points in the first 3 innings of the game when the kids were really engaged and they're not freaking out because they've been sitting in the same place for 10 minutes in a row.
That's right.
And they're not running around the stadium and buying hot dogs and things like that. There was a couple points in the first 3 innings of the game where I'm like, this is actually a problem. There's 8,000 children.
Oh,
Did you tune in for the point where I almost guessed the attendance?
No.
So
No, I missed that.
we up in the press box, the boys upstairs do the attendance game. The boys and girls upstairs go around. You write your attendance guess down, and I'm usually the last one who gets to put in a guess. But I haven't seen anybody else's guesses or anything like this. And I had a little prior knowledge, so I get of how many kids were there. Not an exact number, but I knew that there were over 8,000 kids there. And so my attendance guess, we did this live on the air yesterday, was 8,612. And I felt good about that. I felt solid about that.
That was your guess?
Yes, 8,612. Josh, are you looking up the attendance from yesterday's game, the announced attendance?
No.
Oh, I could tell you what it was.
Okay.
8,610. Oh! And we go by Price is Right rules, so I get no box of candy.
Whoa.
And I was angry about that. You
got it within 2 people.
I wasn't happy about that, Josh. I was not happy about that.
Platcat says you got hosed.
Yep.
Release the staffer's name.
Yeah, apparently there was a staffer who did not check in. I am investigating, and there was two people, and I am launching a full investigation.
You know what this is? Racism and collusion.
I agree completely.
Everything is racism and collusion now.
We will make this a culture war.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. We will make this a culture war. So I was screwed out of a box of Sour Patch Kids yesterday, which I really would have liked in a 3.5 hour long baseball game. But I digress. Welcome to the show, everybody. Robin Washut will join here in a couple minutes. Mitch Sherman is coming up at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. Wednesday, I have an opinion. He is coming up at noon, so get your opinions in for that. And today is the final day of April, which means we will look back at the month that was and bring you our top 5 poll questions from the month of April. Don't feel like it was a great batch, but we haven't been very hot in the polls lately. We had a Monday show, Josh, with no polls.
We did.
No polls.
We did. We were very sportsy. Everybody wanted our takes on Shador.
Yes.
They were chomping at the bit. Like, oh, I got to know
We
what
have
Connor
to
and
give
Josh
them-
think about
We
Shador.
have to give them the Shador.
Mhm.
And we did. So we'll look back at the month and see if we came up with anything funny. That's the lineup, powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Want to hear from you all today on the show, 402-951-1620 on the hotline. Call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh Show at 1620thezone.com, the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And yes, we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today, where Mike says Connor is the new Shador. That's what people are saying. I was hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray.
Did a staffer prank call you at some point and tell you the attendance?
No.
While streaming it for their whatever the hell people
For their
stream
8
things
followers
for.
on TikTok or something like. Actually, every time I see a TikTok, all the people have 8 million followers.
Mhm.
I don't know how there's this many people on TikTok.
Pretty
These people
easy
must
to
have.
get views and followers.
Apparently. Seems a little sketch.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah.
There's in a related story. There's 1 billion people in China.
Interesting. Yeah. They must have a lot of information. Elsewhere on the show today, congrats to Dylan Raiola for doing a big NIL deal.
Doing deals.
Yep.
That's what famous people do.
Some draft stats from Scott Docterman. Nebraska baseball comes back and walks off K-State. Why?
Bing.
Because Gabe Swansen is alive and well, and it's nearly May. It's gonna be May. And that's when Gabe Swansen, he takes the place of John Rothstein. John Rothstein sleeps in May. Gabe Swansen, all he does is hit 700 in May.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had a walk-off hit last night against K-State. Good win for them. What's Marty Brown doing? We'll check in on the construction at Crossroads today. That's right.
Would love an update.
We'll check in with 34-year-old Jose Altuve, who has a request for his franchise.
Oh, okay, he's earned that.
We'll check in with and then if we have enough time, we'll check in with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who have really fun nicknames for each other.
Oh, would love to hear those. That's
Inside
the lives of a celebrity couple like that.
That is worth a click. Worth a click for me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, also wanted to mention just right off the bat here that I'm very much looking forward to this afternoon's crossover as well.
Yeah, we got to promote this. We don't do a good job of promoting things that are happening in the day-to-day rhythms of the show. As
you guys know, John Bishop has been gone for the last couple of days. He's been missing from Creighton baseball broadcasts. He is alive. He is okay. He is voice tweeting now because he is nearly irreparably screwed up his wrist. And so we're going to get the full story today on the crossover when John Bishop makes his return to AM radio.
Happy New Year.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to hear this. And I know how mad John is about this.
Yeah.
And I wish he wouldn't have broke his wrist as bad as he did. Because it's bad.
He's only just now in the last 12 hours started poking fun at himself.
I know.
That's how you know he was mad.
I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for him. And I knew that his reaction to all this was going to be just anger at himself and frustration at himself. And we're going to get the full story coming up at about 1:50 this afternoon, right after Check the Back Seat. So stay tuned for that as well. Thanks for being with us today on a Wednesday. Once again, get your opinions in. For I have an opinion coming up at noon. We do have an incentive for you today.
Oh, yeah.
How about
sweeten that pot?
How about $50 in vouchers to Ellsworth Crossing? Ellsworth Crossing Market, where they have the finest organic meats, cheese, dairy, and goods from local farmers. That's right, meat. You could use your $50 to get meat. What do you think about that?
You don't have to tell me anything more.
What do you think about that? So, if you get in a good enough opinion or an opinion that Josh selects, then you could be walking away with $50 to Ellsworth Crossing. Glad you're with us. Today, we'll be back. Robin Washut will join us on the other side. Nebrasketball has a schedule. Well, they have a list of teams who they're playing next year. Not really a schedule. They have a list of teams who they're playing.
So they allow the crown winner to create a list of schedule.
They make their own schedule when they win the crown. That's exactly right. So there's that. Also, some developments, which I have hinted at many times on this show. In fact, I would say more than hinted at, like I've actually said it out loud. But the news is out there today that Pinnacle Bank Arena is undergoing a large renovation.
What?
Wi-Fi. They're getting better Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
They're getting better Wi-Fi. And
that is big.
It is, because the Wi-Fi sucks.
I've heard this.
I mean, really, really, truly sucks.
During the great Jay-Z blackout of whatever year that was.
Probably like 2015.
I had no one to tell.
Yep. There was no way that you were going to be able to get out in that situation. And new scoreboards and ribbon boards and things like that. So we have a couple things to talk about with Robin, plus football, coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
the biggest basketball coaching convention of.
And work on your skill stuff while you listen.
What?
You don't want to embarrass. Yeah, I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut,
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And we're joined in the hotline by our good friend, Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Robin, good morning. How we doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You chatting?
Doing a little chat action.
Gotta get a little chat action. I do have some football questions for you, and off of something that you wrote. But I have a couple basketball things first. Number one,
Okay.
the Wi-Fi at PBA getting an upgrade. I mean, we probably need to stop everything and do like bonus coverage on this. This is gigantic news for you, and might actually lead to less laptop heaves toward the floor. Like, I guess what's your read on the situation?
It's desperately needed and will be welcomed by everyone with open arms. Something that needed to happen probably years ago. I know, just let alone from our standpoint, but just fans, like being able to send a text message or anything. Like, it was just a disaster with how bogged down the Wi-Fi would be, during games in that arena. So glad to see they're being proactive and they're going all in. $3.7 million renovation. That should take care of it. But it was bad to the point where I had to like buy a Ethernet adapter for my laptop, so
the
I
dongle
could hardwire in. Yeah, and it helped. So like I never had any issues once I got that. But there were games where I couldn't even fire off a tweet in game without there being like a 2 or 3 minute delay, and then no one has any idea what you're even talking about. So again, this is a welcomed upgrade for everyone involved.
Yeah. And then I know I didn't actually read the story that the Journal Star put out, but I know part of what they're going to do. They're going to do a lot of stuff this summer. There's going to be new scoreboards. I know for the people who sit close down to the floor, so you don't have to stare like directly up at the big screen. There's going to be those screens that like are specially for people on the floor, like underneath the scoreboard. I think which will be really good. So they're doing a lot of back of the house like IT type of stuff, which is good because all of a sudden that building is more than 10 years old now, and it kind of feels like it.
Yeah, it's crazy how like top of the state of the art technology can so quickly become just like old antiquated pieces of junk within the span of just a few years. That's kind of the reality of modern technology.
Yep. The schedule also yesterday came out for the Big Ten. So double plays against Illinois, Iowa, and Northwestern. Good to see Iowa on the double play. Oregon's going to make a trip to Lincoln, which is pretty cool. Any thoughts on the way it lined up? I mean, we don't know in the order in which these games are going to get played yet, but I mean, Iowa, Illinois, Northwestern are the double plays, which is always the thing that your eyes sort of go to when you see stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's logical for once, where geographically you're playing double plays against some of the teams that are the closest to you in the conference. So that makes sense. They only play Wisconsin and Minnesota once, but with only 3 allowed double plays, you kind of take what you can get. But they kept it within that radius, which is good. And then I guess again, like you said, a lot of how you gauge the schedule depends on when the games are, how they're stacked, and all that thing. But the fact that they don't have to go to Mackey, they don't have to go to East Lansing, and they only have single plays on both of those teams is a big deal. You only have to play Wisconsin once. So like it,
wow, yeah.
From teams that are, projected probably to be towards the top, with Illinois withstanding, you're pretty favorable in that regard. But, you say that, and then all of a sudden they're making you go, what was it? To Michigan, and then hosting Purdue in December or something like that. So they just throw you right into the fire out of the gate. So again, the real gauge of how difficult the schedule is, part of it is how many times you have to play teams, but more importantly, it's It's when you have to play them and how they're all grouped together.
Football wise, Robin, you wrote about the stock risers for Nebraska's offense coming out of spring ball. Let's zoom in on the offensive line a little bit, because you had two of them in Justin Evans and Elijah Pritchett. I mean, I feel like that has been, for me, if I'm listing, hey, what do you feel better about than you did 5 weeks ago when spring ball started? And I had a question about the offensive line, like, how is this going to come together? It feels like the transfers have checked the boxes that they've needed to, and other guys have too. I guess, like, the offensive line in totality, from what you thought about it 5 weeks ago to right now, where does that stand for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you feel pretty good about it, and a lot of it has to do with the incoming transfers with Pritchett and then Rocco Spindler too. Pretty much leaving no doubt. I guess we'll see kind of when some of these guys get back from injury what that looks like. But as far as post-spring immediate reaction, like, Pritchett seems like you're clear front runner at left tackle. Spindler seems like a clear front runner at one of the guard spots. Evans is the clear front runner at center. And so, 3 of your 5 starting spots are pretty much locked in to some degree. And, not only are they locked in, but you feel pretty good about those 3 pieces. And then so that leaves, a couple more, right tackle and the other guard spot to be addressed come fall camp. But the fact that, you brought in these new transfers with Spindler and Pritchett, Spindler's been everything they've hoped. But I think with Pritchett, the reason I put him on there was just because, he didn't have the best year last year with Alabama. But like every report you hear from him, from coaches to players alike, is, he's been again everything that they would have hoped. He's got the physical traits, but he's also kind of taken on a bit of a leadership role too, as one of the newcomers in that group. So there are a lot of positives, a lot of things to feel good about up front. And again, when you have an offensive line that takes care of business, suddenly everything else on your offense is markedly improved. So you pair that with the additions they made at other positions offensively, this sets up for the offense to potentially take a pretty significant jump this year.
I think so too. Well, you know what? I'll go even a step further, Robin. Like, they were really careful this spring about who they pointed out as far as who they were encouraged by, and a lot of when they did, and the rare times they did, was guys from deeper on the roster who were making a move. Rarely they talk about, the starter caliber players that were sort of standing out. Like, I think it's very possible that, they're even internally higher on those, the 2 transfers that they brought in and Evans, and then the offensive line in general because of it, from this spring than they're even leading on. Like, I this is maybe, it feels like internally, maybe this is the best they felt about that group in a while.
Yeah, and I can see why. And I agree with you. This has been this was the most toned down spring I can remember, where like they went out of their way to not hype guys up, and anyone that was, brought up was because they were specifically asked about those players. And so that's where, like, you kind of look at who they bring up in these, really controlled environment interviews. Nebraska chooses who comes up and talks at the podium, and those players are chosen for a reason. And so, you basically, of the guys we talked about on the whole line, all of them came up front, outside of Pritchett, but then he talked at the spring game too. He's the first interview during the spring game or Husker games deal. So like,
nice.
That to me is notable. Like that kind of says where a player stands without saying it. And so like you look just kind of over the course of the spring, guys that took the podium, I would put a little asterisk next to them as probably players that are going to be starters or very much in the competition to be a starter, because those guys aren't just chosen at random. Like they're handpicked by the coaching staff, and that to basically, hint at where they stand in the pecking order.
One more basketball one, Robin, before we get you out of here. I forgot to ask you about this Michael Perez. What's the situation with him and Nebraska's pursuits of a potential roster addition for coming up this fall and winter?
Yeah, he's a 2025 6'8", 4-star forward out of Italy, Rome, Italy. He visited campus last fall for one of the football games, and that so far has been his only college visit. And, he was kind of weighing whether or not he was going to try to play collegiately in the United States or just pursue a professional career, back home. And it seems like he's leaning more towards playing college. And so now, with his season in Italy basically done, he's kind of turning his full attention now towards that college decision. And it's interesting because with international guys, a lot of times, like, the recruiting process is much different because there's a lot of other people involved. Yeah. And in this case, there's, I think people helping him through the process to the point where he really doesn't seem to have much of an idea about really anything. Like, he knows he likes Nebraska. He knows Miami and Cincinnati have been in contact. But then, like, you ask him, whether schools are involved. He's like, well, I don't really know enough to say right now. So, like, other schools might be in the mix with his respective representation, but he just doesn't know really enough to say, like, who else is worth being named in that conversation. So, because the good news for Nebraska is that they've been kind of at the forefront of that recruitment. They're his only visit to date, and he did say that he expects to make a decision soon. So, compare all those things together, Nebraska seems to be in a pretty good spot. The question is, does he come back, take any more visits, and are there any other schools that haven't been publicly released yet that could be in the equation that might change things? But as of what we know and what has happened so far, my take is if Nebraska wants him, they can get him. But then there's the other thing from Nebraska's side. Technically, right now they're full on their 15 roster spots, so they would have to create a spot for Michael to join the roster, which, I think not hard to connect the dots on that one. But they would have to, that'd be the next step to getting him. But he's a young guy. He's, a 25 recruit, but he's not even 18 years old yet. So he's, a really good athlete, physically put together, but he's just really young. So if he did come to Nebraska, I don't envision him being like, a day one starter or anything like that. I think he's going to have to develop, a lot of those international guys, that transition from international ball to high major college basketball is pretty steep. And so I would imagine that he'll probably need another year of development before he's ready to, be a real impact player. But he's got sky high potential. And again, I think Nebraska's put themselves in a very good position when he eventually makes that decision.
Okay, Robin. Thanks for the update. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. See you later.
Robin Washut from HuskerOnline.com. We'll come back, 11 o'clock hour. Many things to get into. Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of the hour. And don't forget to get your opinions in for I Have an Opinion coming up in just one short hour. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back. 11 o'clock hour. Connor Happer, Josh Hudson with you. College football.
Ba-bow.
Have you ever heard the phrase, Josh, that college football, it's all about money these days? And it's being spoiled and poisoned by all the money.
It's funny you bring that up. I do remember something about that. It was probably something John Bishop said, and I wrote it off as, oh, what an old man thing to say.
Yeah.
That can possibly be how it is.
Well, John Bishop was right.
Wow.
John Bishop, the classic old crotchety old man, was right. He was right. I think many people were saying this.
Oh, okay.
So Kirk Bowles, who covers Texas for the Houston Chronicle, he wrote this morning, salary cap, ? Texas Longhorns will spend between $35 and $40 million on their football roster for 2025. This is, I thought about this a while ago. Remember when we were kind of doing the math on this? So add in the rev share that's going to be coming up this fall. And what are the numbers that we gave you the other day? It's like 85% of the revenue from the athletic department was being generated by the football team. So let's say 85% of the $20.5 million go to the football team for rev share, $17-ish million. So that's already $17 million, plus whatever you are going to do in NIL, which is almost assuredly not going to be regulated like they think it's going to be regulated, because they, once again, can't put that toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube.
You can always hide it.
Yeah, you're talking about limiting earnings, things like that. You can't do that. Oh, we have to go through a clearinghouse and that'll fix everything. No, it won't. So all the NIL is just the way it looks right now. And maybe there's some sort of stipulations or regulations, whatever. I doubt it. But we are currently unregulated. Big time. I don't know, Josh, if you heard this, but it's pretty unregulated as far as NIL is concerned.
Now, I've heard it's like the Wild West. Is that true?
That is a phrase that I've heard bantied about just very quietly behind the scenes. The Wild West.
In your circles?
Yeah,
okay, good.
Just
good.
something. But I'm glad you mentioned that. It's really getting around a little bit. So you add in the $10-15 million that you already were spending on NIL, and you're getting close to $30 million already for your roster. So for Kirk Bowles to come in and be like, hey, Texas is going to spend between $35 and $40 million on their football roster for 2025, it just didn't hit me the same as maybe it did for some others. So the big story that came out right around, prior to the season last year was that Ohio State had a $20 million roster. Ohio State had a $20 million, and that's all NIL, right? So if Texas is going to be in the $35 to $40 million range, which I don't think is that far off from some of the, from some of the Nebraskas of the world, but the big spenders of the world are going to be in the $35 to $40 million range. Ohio State's going to be right in that range. And then somebody's going to, we're going to talk about, salary caps here. There's for the big programs, there is currently no cap. There is currently no limit of what you can spend to generate the best roster that you could possibly spend. Like if you want to, and if you're capable right now, you can be the Yankees. You can be the Dodgers. Just go sign everyone.
You can pay these kids in 12 years?
I don't know. Hell, are the contracts even real?
That's what you need to do. You need to have deferred payments in college football. Hey, we'll pay you. We'll pay you eventually.
Only upon you getting first team All Big Ten.
Yes.
Sure, I'll sign up for that.
Then you can have millions.
I don't think anybody's going to take that deal, probably. So Texas is going to have a $40 million roster next year. And honestly, people saw this and they're like, whoa, what are we doing in college sports? And I'm like, yeah, that actually sounds about right from the math that I've been doing. That sounds about right. We're talking about almost $20 million from the rev share and $20 million worth of NIL. Bang. Done. There's your $40 million right there. It is crazy to think about how we got to this point in college football, how we're going to have football teams making $40 million next year. And that's just for player salaries. That's not for coaches' salaries. That's not for staff. That's not for facilities and, all the whatever other stuff you have to spend to create a successful football team. But once again, so I see these headlines and I see them getting used as man, for the non-Texases and Ohio States, and sure, you could throw Nebraska in that conversation as well. For the those schools of the world, the ones who aren't swimming in money, it always gets used as a sob story. What are we going to do? Texas is paying $40 million.
We can't possibly compete with that.
And so think about how baseball has operated for a long time. I mean, you talk to people in baseball and they're still adamant, this system is not fair. There is no salary cap. If you want to spend the most money, you can get the most players if your owner is rich and he wants to bankroll the thing. And that's what the Yankees did for a long time. And that's what the Dodgers are basically doing right now. And you have an attractive team to go along with it. And, there you go. You can guarantee winning and all the stuff starts building on itself. Is it fair? No. But keep in mind that it already wasn't fair, number one. And the reason why I am so, and I think people around here are kind of so relaxed about it, Nebraska is kind of one of the big dogs.
Big dog.
They're kind of one of the big, they would be approached by Tiger Woods, and Tiger Woods would say, big dog. I don't think there's any, I think they are in that conversation. And that does a lot for you, especially when you consider how little they won. They have won over the last 10 or 15 years here. So Nebraska is very well capable of spending $30-35 million on their roster. I think they'll probably settle in the range of, I don't know, probably 25 to 30 next year. That's $30 million, Josh. And just think, 5 years ago, this was all illegal. There was no money.
Nobody was making anything.
Yep. Definitely nobody was making anything.
Couldn't even have cream cheese for a bagel.
Yep. Ham sandwich, things of that nature. Yeah. So I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay. So that's a pretty good estimate. Speaking of NIL and deals, have you heard about our Dylan? Our young Dylan.
I
only
had the headline really yesterday to work with.
He's a sex icon now.
He's a sex icon?
Well, I mean, he's a model. Models are sex icons. I don't know. Turn up my volume, Josh. I got to hit him a little Dylan here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dylan.
Thank you.
Poll question: are models sex icons?
I don't know. That's a little suggestive, probably. So probably not.
You know who else is an Adidas man?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes.
That is correct. That is correct.
You signed me. You signed Dylan too.
I don't know why so I have a couple things to say about this.
Okay.
I don't know why these individual brand deals still feel weird to me for some reason. Maybe I live in the past, but I think about what college basketball went through in the FBI investigation, and the whole deal was the assistant coaches and the agents or whatever were getting tied up with the shoe companies, and the shoe company they were trying to funnel them to various schools and things like that. No, this is just the shoe companies can literally go to the student athletes and it's all cool. And they just take a bunch of pictures in front of the, Osborne Legacy Complex, and Dylan Raiola is now an Adidas athlete.
More brooding.
It's kind of funny. I don't know why. That's always going to feel weird to me. But then, so Raiola said in a statement that heading into my second season, the goal remains the same: help build the next era of Nebraska football and leave a legacy that makes our fans proud. Joining the elite family of athletes at Adidas is a tremendous honor, and their support strengthens the journey as we continue building something special in Lincoln. So I suppose that this was like in the works and almost done a while ago, and now it's getting announced. I don't know what the events were that led to that, but Dylan Raiola, on top of this offseason, taking a little bit more of a leadership role on his own team and having more of a voice and throwing footballs into basketball hoops from 50 yards away.
Hard to do.
He is now an Adidas athlete, which what does this mean? I'm really not sure, Josh, but it does mean that he makes more money compared to what he used to.
I am a little curious. Did he get this because
I think
they believe in him, or because he's at an Adidas school?
I think you have to qualify in both.
Okay.
I think you have to qualify in both.
I read the list of other Adidas athletes yesterday, and I don't remember any of them other than Mr. Mahomes.
I can't imagine there's a bunch in college.
Yeah.
I guess I could check that out. Adidas athletes.
Somebody had a tweet yesterday. He joins other Adidas athletes. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that there's a lot of them who are actively in college right now. Top 100 Adidas influencers. Most of them are just soccer players. Damian Lillard, ouch.
That one hurts.
Billie Jean King. She's an Adidas athlete.
Role model.
Yeah. And then more soccer players. So many soccer players. And I don't know how far you'd have to go down the list to get to Dylan Raiola. But I think, to answer your question, Josh, yes.
Oh, this is the tweet I read yesterday. Okay.
Go for it. Fine.
Patrick Mahomes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence. So those are all NFL guys.
None of those players are in college.
Anymore.
None of those players are in college. Anymore. They at one point, yes, they all were in college.
Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter.
Travis Hunter was probably an Adidas athlete.
Yeah.
Before, now that's interesting. Colorado's a Nike school.
That's right. Travis Hunter just signed with Adidas.
Oh, okay. That just happened. All right. So it's after he got out of college.
Willie on the YouTube.
I will.
Lexi Rodriguez did an ad campaign with Adidas.
Lexi Rodriguez,
big star, Adidas school. Yeah.
So I guess that's my question. Is Dylan Raiola? Are we blazing the trail for Dylan Raiola to become Dylan Raiola superstar?
It's a box you got to check, right? Shoe deal of some kind. Like he's not going to have his signature shoe, but he is contracted with a shoe company.
This has happened kind of fast because I remember the conversations we were having about young Dylan, a while ago, which was more of like, is this really comfortable for him? Is he, is this the leadership piece and the voice piece? Is this something that's really, really natural for him? And I'm still not 100% sure that it is, but like he's definitely taken more of that on as far as his own team is concerned now at Nebraska. And now he has this deal to go along with it, which means he gets to be he's basically just a brand ambassador for Adidas, which is cool. And he makes, a little more scratch on top.
Skrilla,
exactly. He's all about his Skrilla. But these are like Josh said, these are some boxes that you probably are checking, but ultimately you do have to check the big box, which is your play has to be really good. And then you can reach that sort of superstardom. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know that it 100% fits him. Not the Adidas part, the superstardom piece. He's not that like naturally outgoing of a personality to me, to where it's like, oh yeah. Like I always think, with the superstars, like you put that guy on TV, you put a microphone in front of him, and it's gonna be really good. I don't think that with Dylan, although he has gotten more comfortable and in front of the press and stuff like that.
Could I offer you a comp?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow does not have when he gets in front of a microphone, it's very, he seems uncomfortable, but even though like some of the things he says, like, oh, this guy's very confident in himself, but he doesn't have a commanding voice. Like it's a little soft spoken.
No, yeah. He came from, his path was obviously a lot different than Dylan Raiola's.
It could have been the exact same, though.
No, it could not have been the exact same. It could have been in the same place at a time. Yes, that is true. People forget about that.
Not why I did that.
I have always felt that. I always felt that too about Burrow. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, he doesn't seem he seems to be doing this out of obligation.
But then he's like, everyone thinks he's hot too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he's got this, and he's always in these slow motion videos, throwing his hair around and stuff like that. That's always been weird to me. I don't know why that, I don't know. It seems like a bit at times, to be completely honest with you. It's like, Joe, you're doing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. I'm doing this. So
also, don't rob Dylan.
No, please don't. Chance writes in.
Hi, Chance.
Say the line, Scott. You think he's better than what we got? That was a tough one. We didn't even mention that in the Scott Frost. What were we trying to cast? Like the Scott Frost thing? I can't remember what we were doing.
I don't know.
It was a crossover topic. We were talking about Scott Frost. Jeff writes in. There's a rumor that Burrow wanted to come to Oh, there is. There were rumors out there. Just like there were rumors that money is taking over college football.
I have heard these rumors.
Those are the same.
I'm plugged in.
Those are the same rumors. Text from the 402.
Hi, 402.
Do you realize that this is the first time in 5 years that Dylan has played at the same school 2 years in a row?
Dylan.
That's right.
That's an interesting. Well, I suppose he hasn't played here yet this year.
Whoa.
But he signed the deal with Adidas, so he's locked in.
I don't think that's what that means.
Why not?
Okay.
He's locked in.
It eliminates several other schools from consideration.
Potentially, yes. Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
I have an opinion, but it's topical, so we're going to use it in this segment. People need to stop defending Dylan when he gets grief for looking like Mahomes. Who cares? People want to defend him now, but if he's successful, they will embrace it. People need to stop defending him for when he gets grief for looking like Mahomes. Yeah, I don't care about that.
No.
I don't know why people do so much. I don't know if that's what Jesse is trying to say.
It's going to be one of those great bits when he finally does pop and become what we think he can become, right? He's going to be, everyone in the media is going to call him Mini Mahomes. Stephen A. Smith isn't going to know his name, but he's going to, the Mini Mahomes over there in Lincoln.
I saw there were some Dove Kleiman tweets over the last couple of days. He got doved.
Dove got doved?
No, Dylan got doved.
Okay.
Which is the dumbest Dove, whatever the hell his name is.
I'm calling him Dove.
That thing is stupid.
You took Tariq Skubal away from me. Give me Dove.
He takes the lowest. Takes the lowest hanging fruit. Is like breaking news. This guy looks like Dylan Raiola, and then it gets a bunch of retweets because there's so many idiots on the internet. And that's the only thing people could think about with Dylan. I don't care. It's an old storyline, and it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter.
It's new to some people, though, right?
I suppose every time it happens, it's new to somebody else. All right, let's take a break. Mitch Sherman is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk about what Dylan's Adidas deal means with Mitch. Some other things. Maybe we'll toss some baseball in there as well. Coming up on 1620 The Zone. Jeremiah writes in. We'll talk with Mitch in a couple minutes here.
Hello, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah says on YouTube, I don't know why, but where I grew up, Adidas were never the cool shoe. They made some soccer cleats that were okay. Overall, it was Nike or Reebok or Airwalk/Vans. Heck, even Fila and Converse.
Oh, Fila had a moment. Remember Grant Hill?
Yeah, like where does Adidas stand in the what's it looking like with the kids these days? Are the kids digging the Adidas?
I think the
I'm personally not. I'm Nike Town USA.
The shell toes. People still like the
shell toes.
Like the Run DMC.
Okay.
I don't remember what those are called exactly. Sneakerheads, help me out.
This is a perfect conversation for us, Josh. We know nothing about shoes. A combined nothing.
That's right.
About shoes. But I'm wondering what the children are enjoying. What are they? If you walk around, what's the closest high school to right here? If you walk around Prep, what kind of shoes they wearing?
I don't think it's Adidas, guys.
I don't think it is either. I don't know what they're wearing. If you walk around Central, what are they wearing?
I have no idea.
There's a time where I thought Big Baller Brand was going to take off. LeVar Ball had to have his foot removed.
That's right.
Unfortunately. Mike says at Prep they're probably wearing boat shoes.
Boat shoes.
No, the boat shoes, the Sperry's were a big thing when I was in college. The kids were absolutely wearing Sperry's. They were. Sad Husker fan says Jordans.
Jordans? That would be my guess, right?
What's your Nike? I don't think it matters as long as it's vintage. Kenneth said Starberries. Hey, bro. I definitely went to Stephen Barry's and got some Starberries for like $8.
That was the appeal.
They were fire. I think I had some Shaq shoes once.
Whoa, really?
Did you ever have Shaq shoes?
I didn't.
Yeah, Shaq shoes were good. And then I think like the last pair of basketball shoes I ever bought were like Kevin Durant's.
I have a pair of Nike Dunks that children often walk up to me and go, "Hey, nice shoes, old man." And I say thank you.
I don't know what the Prep dress code is for shoes. I assume they're left to their own devices on shoes, but khaki shorts and polos probably, especially on a day like this. Let's see. Charles writes in, it's Omaha, probably Hey Dudes. The dudes be wearing Hey Dudes around here. Josh, have you seen the dudes in Hey Dudes?
I've heard of Hey Dudes. I know the logo. I don't really know what they are.
Dudes love Hey Dudes because they don't have laces.
Is that where we're at, America?
100%, Josh. Hey Dudes and Allbirds. They're just
I know Hey Dudes.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
There's somebody in this building who wears Hey Dudes. His name is Chris Prudon.
Whoa.
He loves Hey Dudes. I always make fun of him for his Hey Dudes.
The Creighton Prep dress code.
Yeah, what's going on at Prep?
The only thing it mentions in the way of shoes is it has to be a closed-toed shoe.
Okay. Yeah. So Sperry's are closed-toed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
You can get away with it.
Jeff writes in, the T-Max were dope. The T-Max were dope. So we got a text from before from Greg in Myrtle Beach.
Hi, Greg.
Who said the 2025 Adidas corporate strategy focuses on expansion of its American market as they dominate in Europe via soccer. They want more American market share and are investing the most since they went hard and overpaid for Tracy McGrady. Now, that was a long time ago.
That was.
Are
they? They cannot seriously still be paying.
They're just
for Tracy
now
McGrady.
Recovering from the Tracy McGrady investment. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, maybe it was a bad investment and it scared them off of signature shoes in the NBA for a while, and they're just now getting back. I don't. All
right, here's what the other people are thinking.
Okay.
Swift says, I thought the kiddos liked the Ultra Boosts back in the day. The Ultra Boosts. And Aaron says Nike owns Converse now, so that takes a big percentage. Man, I really am not good with the shoe game right now.
Not in it.
I do not know what is going on with the shoe game. I'm sorry about that. All right, so we'll see if Mitch calls us back. Maybe he'll call us back a little bit later on in the show. But let's move on to this, Josh.
Okay.
Oh, actually, you know what? This is a perfect space for this right here before we get to the odd news. I was reading, as I normally do, our local news. We love the local news.
Love it.
And
it's important.
Reading and scrolling through and see if there was anything that caught my eye. And this one did. Crossroads.
The Pit.
The Pit. But apparently no longer. It's from KTV. The first tenant at the Crossroads development was announced by the Woodbury Corporation yesterday. Gamescape by Cinemark is the first announced anchor tenant of the project, which will be an $850 million walkable mixed-use development on the old Crossroads. And not only does it have its first tenant locked in, but there is also this. There will be a groundbreaking event anticipated to be held in June, probably around the College World Series or something like that. So, Josh, I think we need to get you down there with a shiny shovel.
Oh.
I want
start hitting people over the head with that fake shovel.
I want you to be boots on the ground for I want you to dig in on the Crossroads thing, because this has been a giant pit for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
There have been many false starts on the play. It's like Nebraska's driving in overtime. Beep, false start, and all of a sudden it's 3rd and 42. What happens? It's basically 3rd and 42 right now, but they think they're going to get a personal foul penalty or something like that. They are doing.
That's what this is. It's a Hail Mary in hopes of a personal foul.
I don't think we're in a Hail Mary zone yet, but it feels like we're backed up. Feels like we're backed up a little bit. 3rd and 42 in overtime.
Yeah.
Just too many false starts. You have. By the way, Mitch is good now. We'll give him a quick call. But we need Josh to get at the groundbreaking event. That's what we need.
I'll be there.
We'll get Josh. We'll get Josh a 1620 The Zone branded hard hat, and we'll get him a 1620 The Shovel, and we'll get him in there, and he'll put his shiny shovel inside of a bed of potting soil at the big pit at Crossroads Mall, which is apparently going to have a groundbreaking event once again in just a couple months. I definitely believe that. Let me just say that. I definitely believe that. Kenneth writes in.
Hi, Kenneth.
Building at Crossroads is like the dragons in Game of Thrones. It's coming. I promise.
It is a little like the final book in the Game of Thrones series where George R.R. Martin's just like, I'm getting to it. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Crossroads. This is definitely going to happen.
You just have to trust that it's going to happen.
I can't wait to see the latest new movies like Avengers 47.
Plaquette says Crossroads is like that Caitlin Clark thing. We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Don't worry.
We are actually getting to this now. Mitch Sherman from The Athletic joins us on the hotline. Mitch, good morning. What's going on?
Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I was, or at least that I was momentarily unavailable there. I had just gotten a call connected to something I was working through with my my son's baseball team. And as you know, that coaching 14-year-old baseball is actually my full-time job.
It is.
I get paid $0 for.
It's really amazing because last night I know there was the random one night off a week, and you're like, let's go watch more baseball, and you're probably
we went to Haymarket Park.
Yeah, you're probably thinking, well, whatever puts my son in a better position to succeed for his future baseball games, we're gonna make it happen, and that's what you did last night.
So what happened, it was connected to last night. We drove by that beautiful new Sandhills Global Sports Complex on the way into Haymarket Park last night. And I was like, gosh, I wish we could play a game there. And then, as luck would have it, I connected with somebody at Haymarket Park who knows people who help run that. And I just received a call right before you called me to try to make that happen.
So
he might get things done, Connor.
That's clearly. And as evidenced by catching a punt on Saturday. As somebody commented it on the YouTube, Mitch didn't answer the phone the first time because he was out catching punts in the front yard. There'd be no reason for him to do that because the watch is over. You have done your job.
I'm retired from catching punts.
Really?
There was a member of the media in Nebraska who said that he would not have gone out there to catch a punt if they had paid him $100,000.
Oh my God! Who said
somebody who appears on your show?
It sounds like it. If I guess it, will you tell me who said it?
Yeah, I will.
Steve Sipple.
Yeah, that's correct. That's what he said. And my response was, I don't care if they were going to do that. If they're going to pay me $100,000, I would catch 100 punts, or I would drop a bunch of them, but I would try to catch 100 punts. In fact, it wouldn't have to be $100,000. You could probably like $1,000.
Yeah, any amount of dollars, clearly, because you did it for free.
Well, I mean, $50. I don't know that I'd try to catch 100 punts, but you get a little more than that, and I'm in.
I would have taken a free order of chicken wings from Wingstop that I'm sure they had more of.
There was a lot. The players ate a bunch of it, as we saw. Sadly, the winner of the wing eating contest, David Borchers. That's it. That was his crowning moment at Nebraska. Now he's in the portal.
It's amazing.
You can't really get better than that.
Hey, did you put up you should put up a story with that headline. Nebraska wing eating champion David Borchers entered the portal. I bet it would get some clicks. And then put the picture of him with the wing sauce all over his face and his arms raised up. I mean, that's epic.
You know who might have taken that picture was Matt Rule, because he had his phone out and was like in the face of the wing eaters as they stuffed wings down their throats.
Was there anything at all from a football perspective that really you can not just take it from Saturday, but really, I guess we could look back at the spring in totality, which I think there was a lot. I guess when you think about the last 4 or 5 weeks, and has your mind changed on anything or adapted to anything?
Yeah, I think the defense is in a better spot than what I saw going into spring practice, in as far as getting things sorted out, understanding who's going to be in maybe the 18 to 22 player playing rotation. I don't know if they'll play 22, 20, something like that. Understanding the positions. The defense, I think, came a long way in just identifying players. And that was the hope, because the defense was probably farther behind just as a result of a coordinator change and a lot of change, both in personnel and in the coaching staff. I mean, there's just one assistant coach, Rob Dvorak, who's back in his spot from a year ago, and so they had more room to gain, and I think they did it. Like, I've got a pretty good sense, I think, coming out of the spring, how things stack up if they were going to make a starting lineup tomorrow. So that's very encouraging.
Is there any significance at all to Dylan Raiola's new Adidas deal?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time figuring that out. I think it's probably something that Matt Rule can mention to recruits, especially if you're a high level recruit, or if you're somebody who has a high amount of confidence in yourself and you think that you're going to be a star in college. Like, hey, check this out. Like, there's all these pro athletes and then a select few number of college athletes who have major brand apparel deals. And we got one right here in Nebraska. So that's got to be a nice thing to mention. I don't know with Dylan, it probably makes him feel a little more connected to Nebraska. And you're always looking for that when you have a quarterback, because like 80% of them at some point in their career go into the transfer portal. Yeah. I mean, it's not probably an exaggeration. So look at the draft and look at the number of quarterbacks who play their entire career at one school. It's very, very few. So, if you can continue to keep him happy, I think the Adidas thing is in part because he's at Nebraska. Nebraska is a major Adidas client. So all the more reason that you can want Dylan to be happy with Nebraska, the better.
Before we let you go, Mitch, I'd like to. So we've all been following the Marty Brown situation. There's been he said thanks to North Dakota State last night on Twitter, which was great, and everybody had been recruiting him out of the transfer portal for multiple days. At that point, now I'd like to read you a tweet from On3's Pete Nakos, who says, "I have changed my confidence level for Charmar Brown to land at Cal from 70% to 0%.
Something happened.
That's a good take. I think something happened. So Nikos says that he's reporting that it appears as if it's a 2-team race at this point for Charmar.
0%.
A slight downgrade.
5. Just it's over. Cal, like the bubble burst on Cal.
Yeah. Slight downgrade in confidence there.
Isn't all that surprising if you just look at Cal and the kind of offseason that Cal has had. And then you remember that it's Cal and that, I mean, they play in the ACC from Berkeley, California. I don't know how desirable of a football environment that is for Marty Brown. No. So, yeah, Miami and Nebraska, huh? I mean, it's just a question. I mean, there's a very distinct difference there. Do you want to go to South Beach and that's great because a lot of guys would say absolutely. There's no doubt I'd rather be at Miami over Nebraska. Just depends what your criteria are. How important is it for him to be close to home and close to family? What does he think of the backs in the stables at those two schools? But I mean, it's kind of an odd two to have as your finalist because you would be picking those, I think, for pretty different reasons.
Probably, yeah. All right, so we are still on Marty Watch Day, whatever this is now, and there's another twist and turn even as of now. All right, Mitch, we'll let you go. Appreciate the time as always. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Okay, thanks, Connor.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. He wrote the 10 thoughts from the Husker Games festivities on The Athletic. It's up there now.
10 thoughts.
10 of them. Can you imagine? I can barely put together one. Yeah. And that's about anything. The Pete Nakos tweet is truly hilarious.
70 to 0.
So to complete it, Cal gave him time to sign, but is now moving on. It is now turned into a 2-team race. I have changed my confidence level from 70% to 0.
Now his confidence was at 70% on April 28th.
Yes, and that was 48 hours ago.
That's right.
And now it's at 0%. Does he still get credit for a correct prediction if he ends up predicting it, even though he took his confidence level 70% down?
It's a good question.
Yeah,
feels like maybe he shouldn't.
Juicing those numbers a little bit. All right, the odd news is coming up next. Don't forget to get your opinions in. We have a few streaming in right now. For I Have an Opinion coming up in about 15 minutes. Odd news is first, coming up on 1620 The Zone.
Upon further review, the host's last statement was deemed to be somewhat comical. Somewhat. The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
When you're hiring, Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles?
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
NFL honk James Palmer is airing...
Not the James Palmer in our YouTube chat.
No, not Jimmy. James Palmer TV. NFL honk James Palmer TV is currently airing his frustrations on Twitter about how Jeff Ulbrich, the Falcons defensive coordinator, got in trouble for something that his son did. He is demanding that the NFL should have some repercussions for 21-year-old Jax Ulbrich, who is not a part of the NFL at all. No repercussions for Jax Ulbrich, who took the number and made the prank phone call listed here. I don't believe the NFL can make Jax Ulbrich do anything, but
I don't know how you were raised, Connor, but if you did a prank and it cost your dad $100,000 and his job $250,000, what would your father do? Jax will be punished.
Jax will be punished, but not by the NFL,
No.
by his dad, and it will be severe.
Yes.
All right, odd news, Josh. What do we got?
An Iowa museum owner said she believes she has broken a Guinness World Record for her collection of 38,162
Beanie Babies
spoons.
No way that's the record.
Cammie Pohl, owner of the Mississippi Spoon Gallery in Davenport, gathered about 24 volunteers to spend more than 5 hours cataloging her entire inventory.
Let's go check this out.
The current record for largest collection of spoons.
Mississippi what? Spoon Dog?
Mississippi Spoon Gallery.
Spoon Gallery.
Current record held by Australian man whose collection of 30,000 teaspoons was tallied in 1990. Poll said she believes the record will soon be hers. His are all teaspoons. Mine are teaspoons, salt spoons, mustard spoons, Gilded Age spoons, and spoons for centuries.
That's about it.
Poll said her spoon collecting habit started when her great-grandmother, who used to have tea parties with her, gifted her 127 spoons.
All right, MississippiSpoonGallery.com.
Okay.
What makes the Mississippi Spoon Gallery unique? The spoon collection started with the St. Louis World's Fair spoons and others handed down to Amelia's great-granddaughter, Camelia. A little about our museum. Bullet point 1, the world's largest souvenir spoon collection on display. Bullet point number 2, we accept financial donations as we no longer wanted spoon collection. So don't bring your spoons to them. They only want your money. And bullet point number 3, they offer a special place for your event and or private tour.
Oh, wow.
Whether you're a spoon collector or a novice who appreciates history and art, this is an experience that you will enjoy. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, except Wednesday when they're closed. They're closed on Wednesdays.
Can't be working 5 days in a row at the Spoon Museum.
We cannot call the Spoon Museum today.
We'll definitely remember tomorrow.
Yep.
We go to the Titanic for story number 2.
Oh, love going there.
I kind of thought you did. A prophetic letter written aboard the ill-fated RMS Titanic ocean liner has been auctioned off in England. The letter was sold by Wiltshire-based Henry Aldridge and Son Limited. The letter was written by Archibald Gracie IV on April 10th, 1912, just 5 days before the ship sank.
Ooh.
Gracie penned the note when the ship left Southampton. It was postmarked to London on April 12th. Quote, "It's a fine ship, but I shall await my journey's end before I pass judgment on her."
Good take. Wow. Because the whole thing about the Titanic was how great it was.
It was the unsinkable ship.
It was the unsinkable ship. There's no way this ship sinks.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And that guy was like, Nebraska football fan. He was like, yeah.
This preseason hype on the Titanic.
There was too much Kool-Aid. That was the real problem with that Titanic. There was too much Kool-Aid. If they wouldn't have said all those horribly hyperbolic things about the Titanic, maybe it wouldn't have smoked that iceberg.
Though Gracie survived the shipwreck, his health was severely impacted by the disaster. He suffered from hypothermia and various physical injuries on the day of the sinking. In December of 1912, he fell into a coma before dying of complications from diabetes.
Dang.
But he was right about the Titanic.
All right, I'm going to make a poll question out of that somehow.
Okay.
Okay. What was the biggest problem with the Titanic was that it had too much hype.
Too much hype, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Finally, we end with the truck spill of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
We go to North Texas, where an overturned 18-wheeler closed part of US 81 in Alvord for hours yesterday. Connor, would you like to take a guess?
What state, I'm sorry?
Texas. It's an 18-wheeler, 5:30 yesterday morning. It is not edible.
Oil. Just your classic oil.
Yeah. Would you like one more guess? You're not really all that close.
Okay. Let's go with I got nothing. I don't know.
8 million
chairs.
Dimes. A spokesperson.
I got somewhere you can put them in our vending machine.
That's right. Because it's not pennies. A spokesperson for DPS, whatever that is, it doesn't matter, said 8 million dimes totaling $800,000 were spilled across the highway. The driver veered off the roadway, overcorrected, and then rolled onto its side. Truck driver was taken to the hospital as a precaution.
He's okay.
Everything's okay. The
Right.
dimes are okay. The truck driver's okay. The truck, a little banged up. 8 million dimes.
That's a lot of dimes.
It is.
It's a lot of dimes.
And you know that, like, somebody was on the highway trying to, like, pick at him because, you know, sometimes a dime is too small to grab off of the floor.
Great point. How did they get all those dimes
Yeah.
up?
Hey, we need a crew with fingernails.
You'd have to vacuum them probably.
Oh, there's an idea.
Just vacuum the dimes.
Yeah.
And then clean out the vacuum bags.
Mm-hmm. It'd be quicker, right?
I suppose.
Doorbell's ringing.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the odd news. It's time for I Have an Opinion. Send in your opinions. And by the way, we will have maybe multiple winners of $50 to Ellsworth Crossing Market today.
They got me.
So get in your opinions right now, whichever way you'd like to get in touch with the show. Back after that, after this, with that on 1620 The Zone.
This is the I Have an Opinion song. Haven't done an intro yet. Need to get on that.
Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of clips from that Meghan Markle podcast interview.
Well, now it's in your algo.
It's other people are sharing it. She must have
People are sharing.
She must have said something very profound in that podcast.
That is impossible.
She must have said something. There has to be a reason why so many people are enjoying the Meghan Markle podcast interview.
That doesn't seem likely.
You don't think there's a reason why?
It's just because she's talking, right?
Oh, does she not talk?
Was it the first episode?
I don't know. I have no context of this.
Great. Now I got to Google it.
She's
it's gonna
talking.
Mess up my algo.
She's talking. People are trying to talk to the Connor Happer show too. They're calling us.
Wow. Meghan Markle goes makeup free in emotional first podcast interview.
Oh, it's because she didn't have any makeup on. That's why people were listening to it.
In sweats and sneakers too. Wow. It's almost like she signed up to do a podcast and was like, "Oh,
she seems pretty cool. I got no problem with Meghan Markle."
What do you mean? What do you mean? There's cameras here.
Yeah. Kenneth writes in, Rachel Zane is back on the scene. I did watch probably 6 to 7 episodes of that Suits show.
Suits?
And she was in it. Yep. All right. I have an opinion.
Okay.
You can get them in on YouTube. We got a few in via email, and I've been saving them via text as well. So let's do it. What do we got?
We begin with the YouTube stream where Dave joins us. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I have an opinion. Men and women who drench themselves in cologne or perfume are the worst.
What's the line, though? What's the limit?
Yeah.
Is it a know it when you smell it situation?
It is.
I like to smell good.
Uh-huh. I want to smell good.
And I think the first, if you can smell yourself for the first part of the day, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. But
so
generally,
that by 5, you're
you shouldn't go on throughout the day smelling yourself. Fortunately, I live a docile lifestyle, Josh, and I don't sweat. So
not really exerting much in my day to day.
Nope. So I usually don't have a problem smelling bad.
Okay.
Which is great. If I worked a job where I had to take like multiple showers in a day or something, some people think this is a job where you have to take multiple showers a day. It's not.
Some people do think radio is a job that requires multiple showers a day.
I don't know why people think that.
It's a weird thing to think.
It is a weird thing to think from a person who's probably weird. But we don't need that.
No.
So I generally agree with this opinion, although I do like it when a person smells unique.
Yeah.
I like it when maybe I walk by you at work or walk by you and I'm like, oh, I don't have any problem with telling people that they smell good either. I think we need to recognize that more in public, because there's a lot of people who smell like ass.
Yeah.
Josh.
There are.
So why don't we tell the people who are doing a really good job that they're doing a really good job? Society these days. That's probably what Meghan Markle said in her podcast. She probably said something like that.
It's fine. It's fine, everybody.
Yep.
It's fine.
All right.
Baymon. I have an opinion. Fantasy baseball is stupid. Daily lineup adjustments, carrying 20 pitchers and 1 bat on your bench, limited roster transactions a week, It is not fun at all.
I've played in a couple different fantasy leagues for like 1 year at a time. And I found it to be helpful because it made me follow the game more. It made me follow baseball more.
That's the biggest use for it.
If you don't care about that or don't want to, I don't think you'll miss it. And I will also say, like, if you crave weird male to male friendship, and you've been doing one of the coolest things you could do is have a fantasy league like for a long time.
Yeah.
Like have a long running fantasy baseball league where you're like drafting, you're drafting rookies hoping that they'll pan out in 5 years or something like that. Might sound kind of nerdy, but I think that's actually pretty cool. I like tradition.
What a bond.
It's a great bonding moment. But if you're like just signing up, by the way, I haven't checked my fantasy basketball team that I accidentally signed up for in a very long time.
Well, the regular season is over, so I imagine.
Do you don't think I did very good?
I don't know.
I turned off all notifications from this stupid app months ago, and my life is much better for it. So
you drafted Anthony Davis, right?
Yeah, that was a horrible mistake. Connor's crazy team in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball this year appears to have finished 4th.
Hey,
out of 10.
Is that in the money?
I don't think there was money.
Oh, okay.
Don't think there was money.
That's pretty good.
There was a few transactions that were made in this league. There was at least one player who was playing, and it was Nathan's nice team. I think everybody else in the league was not playing.
Those team names in that league are not good.
That's just the one that they give you, you know.
Oh, okay. J-Man.
J-Man.
I have an opinion.
On the night, man.
Losing my hearing for the rest of my life is better than listening to any scum from British royalty for 10 seconds.
Wait. Say that again. Say it again, J-Man.
Losing my hearing for the rest of my life is greater than listening to any scum from British royalty for 10 seconds.
Why is it automatically scum?
She's not from British royalty.
Yeah, she's an American.
Was of British royalty?
No. They're still cool. They're still...
Are they? I thought they renounced their titles.
Well, they were... they're still married.
Yeah.
But they may have got kicked out from the royalty part of it.
They call themselves H&M. Like the store.
People forget that.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, that's a strong opinion, J-Man.
That's what this segment is for.
Just hearing people talk triggers you?
Drake chimes in.
Drake. Say Drake.
I have an opinion. McRibs shouldn't be seasonal. Just take them off the menu already.
Oh, you mean... Oh, interesting, Drake. Like completely off the menu.
That's right.
Like never have the McRib again.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I think most people would say just keep them on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care either way. I don't buy the McRib because I'm not falling for McDonald's clever plans.
I get one a year.
I don't. You're like my dad. My dad, when they come back, they're like, I think I got to get one. I don't know when it is.
It's going back in the vault.
But it happens. Okay?
Charles, I have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If Meghan Markle has a podcast, there are too many
you
podcasts.
Don't understand. This is taking over. It's not Meghan Markle's podcast. Meghan Markle was on a podcast where she was very vulnerable and emotional and makeupless.
Could you imagine going somewhere without makeup as a woman? In sweats?
Think about that.
Think about
the bravery. Think about the bravery. What?
She's so brave.
She is. You want to get to some stuff from the text line here?
What do you got?
All right, let's go. Let's try and go back in order. Here is from the 402.
Hi, 402.
I have an opinion. The Journal-Star announced this week that they will no longer be including baseball box scores to streamline our sports coverage.
They were still doing that?
I know I can look at them online, but I've been reading those in the sports page for my whole life, and I think that sucks. Another part of my childhood dies. Good take.
I mean,
I haven't looked at a paper in a long time. I got to be completely honest with you. So far be it from me to have an opinion on the way that they should do it, considering I don't really read the paper. I read the paper on the internet. Mm-hmm. But I did love reading at looking at the box scores, looking at the standings, and all the people who hit home runs yesterday and stuff like that. That was a great part of my childhood. But I have wrapped that part up. It's gone. It's been gone.
Well,
I go to MLB.com now.
Tim Kirkjian is
ESPN.
He, grew every day, literally every day. Would cut out the box score from the paper, glue it or tape it or whatever into a notebook, and have it recorded for himself. And then when the paper in his area stopped doing that, he would go to ESPN.com every day, print out each individual box score, and put it in a notebook. I believe in the last, I think during COVID, he stopped.
Dear God.
Like, could you imagine every day
Dear God.
for 40 years doing that?
I don't know. People have their things.
Yeah.
People have their
baseball
kinks.
is obviously Tim Kirkjian's thing.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
Yeah.
I see podcast clips from, he does a podcast with his kid.
With his son. Yes. His son works in radio, I believe.
They talk about weird baseball stuff.
Yeah.
Now, question. They still do like high school scores, right? Like if a kid happens to hit a home run, like
Oh.
he still gets his name in the paper, right? Or like the leaders at the end of this.
I have zero clue.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Man, getting my name in the paper, it was special. Special. From the 308.
308.
It's Western Nebraska.
Excuse me.
I have an opinion. Models have been continually getting less good looking over the last 20 to 25 years.
Ooh.
And to some extent are not good looking at all anymore. Therefore, not sex icons.
I'm going to agree with the take.
I don't want to add much context to this, but I would generally go along with that.
Exactly where my head is at, Connor.
There you go. I know, Josh. I get it. I know what you're doing. Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I have an opinion. The toughest guy I know was hit in the family jewels. Crawled to his car, drove himself to the hospital where they had to remove something.
Oh!
Does John Bishop have a better story than that? I don't know. I haven't heard John Bishop's story yet. But that's bad.
Tune in at 1:45.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question yet.
For John's story.
John's story. Yep.
Now we cannot outright dismiss it, so you know it must be close-ish, right?
I'm not sure. I have an opinion from the 757.
Hi, 757.
Happer is a pretty good play-by-play baseball guy.
That's right.
He's no Nick Hanley, but still pretty okay. Well, good news for me. I could just look like we're both bald and have red beards.
That's right.
And so maybe we could just, switch it up and nobody would ever know.
You're just hoping to fool some of the people, not everybody.
Exactly.
This texter obviously saw through your facade.
Yeah. He's got the voice. He's got the voice for it. And I just act like it.
Mm-hmm.
I just act like it. But
that's half the battle.
Trying to bring my own flair to it, Josh. Thank you for the maybe compliment. From the 757. Here is Venmo Chris.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
I have an opinion. If the Wolves meet the Warriors in round 2, we may see an actual murder on the court. Rudy Gobert will get kicked in the nuts by Draymond. Are you pro murder, Josh? In this case?
I am pro murder for my entertainment.
Okay.
And that would be entertaining.
It would be.
Yes.
It would be. CJ.
Hi, CJ.
I have an opinion. Sporting event concessions prices are getting ridiculous, especially when you have kids. Everyone should be more like the Masters prices. Great show as always. CJ.
Yes, you're right.
When they don't give food to us at the baseball games, they give us the concession stands card.
The gift card?
Yeah, the gift card. It's got $15 on it.
Mm-hmm.
Used to have $10 on it, by the way. Now it's got $15 on it. There's a reason why.
Thanks, Biden.
Because I go down and I get the chicken tender basket, and guess how much it costs after tax?
$14.87.
$14.98. And they're like, "Would you like to tip?" And I say, "I don't have the money for it.
Keep the change."
I don't have that. I don't have that for you. There's not an option that says 0.01%. I can't.
You can do a custom number and do 2
You can
cents.
do a custom number. Yeah. So I agree. It's tough. It's hard out there. Jed writes in.
Hi, Jed.
I have an opinion. People with allergies should be able to have handicap parking tags so they don't have to spend any longer in the pollen than they have to.
No. Bridge too far.
Wait, why not, Josh? Come on. You don't think this is a real illness that these people have? You don't think it's a real handicap? Unbelievable.
Put a hanky in your pocket. You'll be fine.
No. What if I'm driving down the road and I'm rubbing my eyes vigorously and I can't? The allergies in my eyes.
Then you should keep your ass at home.
I need a handicap parking spot.
Parking closer will not prevent those injuries.
Well, but then I'd stay less outside. I stay outside less. Therefore, I wouldn't have to rub my eyes as much. It's a long play.
Okay.
It's a long play.
I don't agree.
From the 402.
Hi, 402.
I have an opinion. White cheddar Cheez-Its are the goat of snacks.
Whoa.
Now, Josh has opinions on snacks.
Don't love a white cheddar. I know a lot of people do. You do. That's fine.
I do like a white cheddar. Me and white cheddar are chilling. We're hanging out.
I don't. It's overrated.
Overrated, probably. Probably.
White cheddar popcorn.
Like a white cheddar popcorn. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. Thank you for saying that. A white cheddar popcorn.
Salt.
Oh, I know. Salt is great.
End of list.
I love salt.
Perhaps some butter.
Oh,
if
come
you're
on.
feeling
You don't get the
wild.
big bag of Vicks, the white cheddar?
Ugh.
That's good.
Would never.
Come on. What about in the tins? What do you put in your tins?
What am I putting in my tins?
Yeah, in your tins. In the tins around Christmas, in the tins.
I understand the question. I'm eating the regular popcorn.
There is no regular popcorn. It's white cheddar.
I'm very slowly nibbling the caramel corn and wondering why there's caramel on my corn.
My teeth hurt.
And then leaving the white cheddar for whatever lives in my garbage can to eat.
Do you just hate cheddar cheese?
No, I love cheddar cheese.
You just like what's different about white cheddar than regular cheddar?
It makes everything a little too funky.
Yeah, it's got a funk to it. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure, want to suss that out, make sure you're all good.
I appreciate that.
Texter follows up on the high school box scores. No high school box scores anymore.
Damn it, why even play sports?
Only stories if a reporter covers them. They don't even print the 7:00 games anymore. They're all listed as, quote, late. Only Husker late scores are included. Boy, it's tough times. I see it both ways, but man, but here's the other thing. Like if you're a high school kid and you're hitting bombs now, like you can you're on the internet.
Look at my huddle film.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're playing for the prospects teams and they got your exit velocities posted all over the internet now. So that's the trade. My exit velocity was saying that I hit a bloop double, but it counted as a double, and that's the only thing that people could see in the book, in the sports page.
As long as you ask no follow-up questions.
It just said 2B Happer 1. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Pedro has another. This one just says, "Hi guys, I have an opinion," and then that's it. From Pedro.
To let you know, I got one.
I have an opinion.
Got one.
Tom on Twitter.
Hi, Tom.
I have an opinion. Connor and Josh saying hi blank after the other says great email/text from blank is a great bit, and it's polite. Nebraska nice, some might say. It's mostly a Josh bit, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to do when you're not here.
Yeah, what do you do? Do you say hi to yourself?
I do. Platcat on YouTube. Hi, Platcat.
Hi, Platcat.
Yeah, because at this point it's reflexive. I said that yesterday.
That's crazy.
My wife will say, Jimmy called me the other day.
Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's just reflexive.
All right, I got a bunch of emails here.
Ooh. Oh yeah, we had some good emails.
Colin.
Hi, Colin.
In White Plains, a great small suburb of New York City. Colin, we need Josh to stage another coup of the show so we could get more 4-hour-long discussions of mayoral issues. Riveting stuff. Really riveting stuff yesterday, Josh. I will find a way to vote for you, even though I am not a resident of Omaha, just like the mayor herself.
Whoa, cheap shot.
That's what it says.
Cheap shot. She's here a bunch lately. She owns no property outside of Nebraska. And that's the only way someone can live somewhere else is if they own the property.
What did you talk about, Josh?
There was a second mayoral debate.
A second mayoral debate
has excluded me.
Yikes. Who moderated it? Brian Mastery?
I believe it was Scotty Voorhees.
Nice.
He's good. I can't be mad at him.
Yeah. You call him Scotty. You must be cool.
That's right.
He's Scott to most people. He's
That's
Scotty
right.
to Josh. John.
Hi, John.
I have an opinion. When you park in a parking lot with head-to-head parking, there are 3 lines you are not supposed to park on. Whether you pull so far in that the front of your car is 3 feet onto the opposing parking stall, no one can park in that stall, you are a moron. That provides nothing to society.
Great take.
Really?
Yeah. It's not hard.
I don't really get mad about this anymore. I just find another spot. Maybe I'm at the stage of my life where I just I don't care about this. I don't know.
Okay.
It's a big parking lot. I'll park 5 steps further, whatever.
Yes.
People park over the lines. I'm like, damn it, that kind of sucks. But I'll find another one.
I that is what I do in my day-to-day life. But I do have to acknowledge that person's an idiot. This isn't hard.
Idiot, for sure.
Or selfish. Like, you can, like, I know I'm parking over the lines.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
I have an opinion. This is a good one. Now that Forever 21 is closing all their stores, Westroads needs to bring back Tilt.
Okay.
So I didn't know that Forever 21 is going belly up. Is this true, first of all?
First I'm hearing of it doesn't mean that's...
Just Google Forever 21 and see what's going on.
News. Goodbye, Forever 21. Remembering a fashion haven of youth. That's from New Jersey 101.5.
Okay.
So you know it's real.
We'll count it. Forever 21 is dead. And therefore, there will be a 3-story space in the... I mean, they had to basically retrofit the whole mall to fix Forever 21, knocking out floors and ceilings and things like that. And of course, take away our dearly beloved Tilt, which I would go down to Tilt and I would play the game that has the light that spins around the circle in the bubble for hours and hours and hours. I love that game.
Looked like the Sorry board.
If they could bring Tilt, I mean, are arcades back is a question that we probably need to answer.
Okay.
But if they brought back Tilt and it looked like it did, there's a putt course in the back that nobody cared about.
Well, I cared about.
There was a lot of space. Just a lot of space to kind of move around in there. It was dark.
It wasn't jammed in there. It was there. It was spacious.
It was dark in there.
It was.
And it wasn't like Chuck E. Cheese where they're jamming in 6 things into a small area.
Like, I don't have enough for my backswing on skee ball. No, there was plenty of room.
I love Tilt and I love the old food court at Westroads, but I don't think either of them are coming back, folks. I think we're going to have, the Blatt.
That's a great question.
And
they got to put something in that basement.
They got to put
You can't
something.
just lock up the basement.
Maybe that's where they put the kids, playground or something like that.
It probably will be a kids' playground now that you say that. Yeah,
they got to build Tilt back better though.
Damn it! Don't put a kids' playground in there.
And TC writes in.
Hi, TC.
This is all in caps, by the way. I have an opinion. I don't understand how the Unabomber would be eligible, yet even considered for People Magazine's World's Sexiest Man. Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was not a good person, nor do I believe that too many people would consider him sexy. Oops, my bad. You were talking about John Krasinski. Never mind. Peace, TC.
John, I believe.
Thank you for that email.
Yes.
Charles writes in.
They have similar names.
They are still building malls. No. This isn't a building a mall. They'll retrofit a great mall. One of the best malls that we have.
It is one of the better.
And somehow has been able to stay, afloat. They've adapted and adjusted with the times. But I do miss that old food court, which now is the Container Store. The containers. Josh,
have you seen all the containers?
People were talking about the Container Store.
Oh my God.
They were so excited for the Container Store. It was like when Grand Island got a Taco Bell. It was like, oh my God, we got a Container Store.
I've got soup just sitting out.
Yes. But shortly thereafter, we would miss our dearly beloved food court where the guy out in front of the place that I absolutely never went to said, would you like to try some free chicken teriyaki? And I said, yes, I would. Thank you. And then eventually they asked, are you ever going to come here and buy some chicken teriyaki? And I said, no. I'm going to go to Imperial Palace or get a long chicken sandwich from Burger King. Thank you.
Yep.
That's it.
That's how it went.
That's the story.
You kids gotta buy some chicken teriyaki?
Never buy the chicken teriyaki. No, never once. But they were always doing samples of the chicken teriyaki. It was amazing.
And it wasn't passive either. It was, you're taking some chicken teriyaki because we made it.
Yeah, there's so much. And if they just so happen to ran out, they'd be like, we got another plate coming up. Just give me 1 second.
Don't worry. Let me just go behind the counter. I'll do a loop.
Greg in Myrtle Beach has an opinion.
Whoa, hi, Greg in Myrtle Beach.
I have a correct opinion. Meghan Markle is the most overrated human out of Los Angeles since Bronny James.
I think her rating would have been given before Bronny James.
Yeah, but right now, what's her? I didn't realize that we hated Meghan Markle so much. What's the
we
deal?
hate her, yeah.
Why do we hate her?
Cause she's
she seems fine. I have no opinions. In fact, I'm zagging on your guys' opinion on her. She seems fine.
She got lucky.
What do you mean she got lucky? Marrying a prince?
Yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
She is a beautiful woman.
Of course she could marry a prince.
Yeah. She got lucky.
That's not luck.
It's not luck?
Well, I guess it's luck to be beautiful.
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, but that's going way back. Pedro says, I have an opinion. Hi, guys. I have an opinion. The rugby team has a better chance of beating a gorilla than any other team. That's probably true. Aaron writes in, I have an opinion. Walmart, rightfully so, gets the hate because it's a crappy corporation which treats employees like crap. Target is looked at as anti-Walmart when they do the same thing but have marketed themselves to suburban moms.
That's right.
Who think they have taste in art or fashion. Congrats on your next live, love, laugh, made in China art piece.
That's right.
Wow, Aaron, anti-Target. Getting after it there. Yeah.
It's the same with a better marketing department.
Vimo Chris.
Chris.
I have an opinion. Malls, like the American dream, are dead. Stop saying they're not. All right.
Wow. Stop saying they're not.
That's where we're going to end it today.
Wow.
Malls and the American dream, both dead. White picket fence? Nope.
Can't
do that
possibly
anymore.
let you go and misinform the public into thinking that malls
are alive.
Might be alive.
I'm going to start spreading the rumors.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? Malls are coming back.
I don't know. I went to the mall last weekend.
Pretty hopping in there, wasn't it?
It was. My kid loves the Westroads food court.
Yeah, you got to park at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Loves going to
Walk through there, go up the escalator.
At TikTok shop. He loves that place.
TikTok shop.
They just sell a bunch of crap. Like
from TikTok?
Stuffed. Well, it's TikTok branded so that people will think it's cool, but it's like just a bunch of stuffed animals and knockoff Disney.
I've never seen that. I haven't been to the mall in a while.
It's over by the Lens Crafters.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you, opinion givers.
And Five Below. He loves Five Below.
Oh, they have lots of candy and colors and things like that in there. Thank you, opinion givers, today.
Good opinions.
Good opinions. Josh will sort through, and maybe you'll be gifted with a surprise, $50 to Ellsworth Crossing. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we got a poll question. We got a few poll questions up at Happer Show from today. None of these are eligible for our best poll questions of the month of April, unfortunately, but they will be lumped into the May questions. Josh, if we can remember to do that.
Definitely will. We don't forget anything.
Absolutely, because I think we got a couple good ones today. So our arcades back. Was the biggest problem with the Titanic that it had too much hype? And are there a lot of Gabes in Minnesota? In response to our arcades back, Black Cat writes in, bring back Nicola play.
Oh,
so
wow.
Why don't you just bring back Nobbies while we're at it?
Yeah.
Nicola play was in the Nobbies parking lot.
Yeah, but I mean, now there's a pretty sweet prehistoric putt in
I can't believe
Nobbies.
I still can't believe Nobbies is gone.
Yeah. Never would have had that happening.
No, seriously. If they would have had an Omaha bingo card of like things that left or went out of business, Nobbies would, like, if you would have had Nobbies on your card, you would have been like, damn, I'm never gonna get bingo. Nobbies. When was that? 4 or 5 years ago now? Very sad.
Yeah.
But at least we have a prehistoric putt there.
And an arcade inside of it.
An arcade, because arcades are back.
That's
Maybe they'll just put Nicola play back inside the prehistoric putt, which was inside the Nobbies, and then Omaha will be whole again. All right, so you can vote on the poll questions, and we'll have our top poll questions for the month of April coming up in just a moment. But first, Josh, we do have some breaking news. Now, Josh only hits that button when he wants to be sarcastic about something that
That's not
J.J. Watt did or something
Those
like
are
that.
big stories that people care about.
Miami has landed transfer running back Charmar Brown. Marty, as people were calling him, is going to Miami. So Pete Nakos took away his 70% Cal confidence and made it 0%, and then he immediately committed to Miami.
This is like a grumball.
Was Nebraska being used?
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't know. I do wish they would have found a running back. So I think what this says is Nebraska is going to add a punter, likely from Australia this summer at some point. And that's it.
Wow.
Their roster is done.
This is it.
They'll probably lose, I don't know, they'll probably lose 1 or 2 more people or something like that. I don't know. There's no like transfer portal window anymore. But somebody will fall off, whatever happens, get kicked off the team or something like that. But this is it. This is your roster for 2025, and it will not include Charmar Marty Brown, as reported by many of the Cruton sites right now.
Who are,
you know what I say, Josh?
Marrying each other?
The Cruton sites are marrying each other?
Yeah, rivals and on 3.
Really?
Merging that thing?
Really?
Yeah.
So the on 3 guy, okay, we don't have to get the on 3 guy. He started Rivals. I believe he started Rivals 24/7 and on 3.
That's a great business model.
I'm pretty sure.
Hey, I'm gonna start one company. I'm gonna spin it off into another.
I don't know if he started Rivals, but he definitely started 24/7 and on 3. And then he sold 24/7 to CBS and dipped and made on 3. And now is doing the exact same thing with on 3. But now they're acquiring companies. This is weird. I don't know what's going on. But yes. Anyway, Nebraska's not going to bring in another running back. They're going to be good with what they have, or at least they're forced to be.
For a running back.
I have. But I gave up. Like, it never felt like to me Nebraska was super all in on this.
You know when they're all in.
Nebraska is. They were not in the situation this time around where they were going to be like, all right, we'll wait for what Miami counters with the offer, what Cal counters with the offer, and then come back to us before you do, because we'll bump it up by 25% or something, like, assuming it was all about money. I don't know. It just never felt like Nebraska was super pot committed to this deal. So they missed out on him. I don't know if they tried that hard, which is a critique that I have. I think they should have tried harder. People are like, I've heard people in support of the university over the last couple of days be like, hey, look, man, I want him. That'd be great, but there's no reason to overpay for this guy. Who cares if you overpay? There is no salary cap. There is no limit. It's not your money. It doesn't matter.
Well,
who cares if you overpay for a running back that you think is good? Like,
did you really get $1 million worth?
It's getting into the conversation about professional sports. Like, for me, I know that I'm a fan of a small market baseball team who is never going to go out and sign the big free agents. If Aaron Judge was a free agent, the Royals would not be a player for Aaron Judge. Do I want them to be? Yes. Would I love them to overpay for Aaron? Would I love them to pay $1 billion to get Aaron Judge? Yes, because what do I care? It just shows that they're committed to paying for Aaron Judge. This is obviously a lot lower scale. I don't get that's a weird critique for me.
Definitely.
I don't think they were super committed to this deal. And at least from reading the tea leaves, that's what it seems like to me. I think they should have been, though. I think Nebraska probably should have tried a little bit harder to get another running back. But their line for the last couple months has been, we're good with what we have. Okay. You're good with what you got. You're willing to pay the price. Because I'll tell you what, if Emmett Johnson goes down, we got problems. I'm not even super sure about Emmett Johnson. Like, I think Emmett Johnson's going to be good. But I mean, they're asking him to step up everything and take all. Like, I just like to have a little bit of assurances at that position, and I don't feel like Nebraska does at the moment, because their backups are a guy that has like 5 carries and another guy that has like 1. So, but I gave up a long time ago, and they didn't get Marty Brown. So, Omaha recruiting honks. I apologize.
Oh,
it didn't happen for
honk, you. Honk.
Yep. Honk indeed. He's going to Miami.
Miami and Nebraska just always battling for the same dudes.
Feels like Miami's always in a bidding war with themselves.
Yeah. They're the Steph Curry basketball tweet.
Yeah. I would like, now, don't get me wrong, I would like you to be smart about how you spend your money. I would like to spend money on the right kind of players. And yes, there does become a question of overpaying and whatever. But like, it seems like Miami from time to time is just like kind of throwing money out there, and it all seems fake. Like, I don't need them to be like that. I want them to go identify good players that they like, and then if they like them, pay for them. And just like I said, in this case, I never felt like Nebraska was super duper committed to it, and so he's off to Miami.
All right, we'd like to open the bidding at $500,000. $7 million. Thank you, Miami.
Sold. Sold. All right, we're back with the top poll questions from the month of April. What a month it was.
It was.
Soon it'll be May, and John Rothstein will be sleeping.
Finally.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Oh, yeah, Josh, I got to turn on baseball.
Yeah, we got Cardinals, Reds.
Brady Singer.
Brady Singer.
By the way, speaking of baseball, Colin White Plains emailed into the show.
Hi, Colin.
He said, subject line, Aaron Judge on the Royals. And then several paragraphs of all caps, ha, 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 ha. It went on for a long time. And then many exclamation points at the end. I think he was laughing at that. Not sure what's so funny about that.
Yeah, do you take that? Do you take that personally? Do you?
No, we have Bobby Witt Jr.
That's right. He's hitting 1 million straight games.
That's right. He's basically Joe DiMaggio.
Basically.
Even though
the comp banging a hot blonde.
The comp to, I don't have any comment on that, Josh.
That's fair.
The comp to Aaron Judge's what he's doing right now is Ted Williams because he's hitting over 400 and it's nearly May.
Not a Yankee.
Not a Yankee though. Interesting. All right, our top poll questions from the month of April. Excited to see if we were funny or not.
I like this batch. It's a good batch.
Okay, good.
Okay. We start with some other superlatives throughout the month. Most voted on poll question of the month came from just about less than a week ago, Thursday.
About a week ago, you might say?
Yeah. Is anything better than it was 20 years ago? 60% of the audience said yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
we found a few things.
Yeah, well, because Sam said Creighton basketball, and then the Burners saw it, and they all voted.
Makes sense. Most lopsided poll question came from just over a week ago.
About a week ago.
Last Monday. Have you heard of Mall of America?
Yeah.
95.5% of the audience said, yes, of course I have. What kind of moron would not have heard of it?
That's right.
Oh,
we do know one, though.
We know one. We found one.
We found that one guy.
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
Going way back, Tuesday, April 8th to be exact. Does Rhode Island have the best gabagool?
It's possible.
It is possible. It seems unlikely, though.
Yeah.
70% of the audience
Rick
said
Pitino
no.
lived there for a little while.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe he said you got to step your gabagool game up.
I bet they're pretty good. I mean, people go to New Haven to get pizza now. That's in Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
Like New Haven's the pizza capital of the world. Meanwhile, our boy Josh is in New Haven eating mashed potatoes on his pizza. What is wrong with that guy?
Yeah.
I had to have a talk with him after John tells his harrowing tale.
Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah.
It's coming. Later today on the
like an hour.
Crossover. Yeah, wow.
Number 4.
This one's for me, okay? I like this poll question. This is my list. I wanted it on the list.
That's good. I'm glad.
Monday, April 18th, we asked, who's your favorite member of the Giggly Squad?
That's probably what they do on that squad.
Just
what were the options?
Hannah or Paige?
Hannah or Paige. Okay. I think I remember this now, and I think I remember that I like Paige.
You do like Paige. So does the audience. 61.5% said Paige.
Look at that.
38.5% were on the right side of history with me and Hannah.
So do you know the backstory of the Gigglies?
No, I know. I've seen some reels of Hannah doing stand up, and I think those are kind of funny.
So my wife told me she was on, or they were on a show, a reality show together, I believe called, I want to make sure I get this right. I think it's Summer House.
Okay.
They were on a show called Summer House together.
As a unit, like a team?
Not really.
Okay.
I think that friendship kind of
where it blossomed
evolved a little bit. And they and then one of the male, let me know if I'm getting this right. One of the male cast members on the show made fun of them because they were always giggling with each other.
Oh, and they turned it.
They spun it all into a podcast.
That's
called
great.
The Giggly Squad.
Oh, Hannah went to University of Wisconsin.
There you go.
Where she played tennis.
Go Badgers.
Wow.
Go Bucky. My first trip to Wisconsin, they were giving away free hot dogs. And
Okay.
and I went up to the guy who was giving away free hot dogs, and he said, "You got to say go Bucky." And it was very easy for me. I said go Bucky, and then I got a hot dog. That's my Wisconsin story.
Okay.
Go
so
Bucky.
You did say it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's a free hot dog.
Will you say anything for a free hot dog?
Not anything, but I
Whole
felt
question.
that in the moment was a low risk proposition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Would
good for
you? Would you say like go Lakers if somebody was offering you a hot dog?
Yeah, of course.
Would you say go Big Red baseball team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll find something.
Okay.
We'll find something for you.
Speaking of hot dogs,
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Thursday, April 10th, we asked the question, would you Lady and the Tramp a hot dog with a stranger with a partner at home? I'm sorry, let me read this again. I'll try and get through it.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, keep going.
Would you Lady and the Tramp a hot dog with a stranger with a partner at home?
I think we meant like if you had a partner at home, if you had somebody at home.
Yeah.
I think we probably could have just stopped at would you Lady and the Tramp a hot dog with a stranger?
I believe we did ask that as well.
Oh, we
that
did?
day.
I like that one better, but this is fine.
82.5% of the audience said no. My God.
Thank you. God. I feel like sometimes when I'm talking with Gary, I'm taking crazy pills because he'll just say stuff and I'll be like, wait a minute.
No, you got to get the photo. No, Gary, you don't.
No, don't do that. You don't do that. Don't want to do that.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Top 5 poll questions from the month of April. Number 2, Wednesday, April 16th. Are you a sucker for when in Con Air they tied that car to that plane and flew away?
All right, that's pretty good. I like that poll question a lot. Yeah, I am.
62% of the audience said, yeah, I am.
Only 62%? Come on.
A lot of idiots out there, Connor.
Jeez. I am. I love that scene. I like it. I like it a lot.
The license plate says as kicker if you're watching it on cable.
I love that. I love that scene. John Cusack's like, oh, there it goes.
What could possibly top that reaction?
I don't know.
I don't know
if we have it.
I don't know.
That had to have been number 1.
I feel I may have misranked.
Number 1.
Monday, April 21st, the same day we found out that Austin had never heard of Mall of America. Mm-hmm. An underrated part of that crossover was that he said you can have a lot of open conversation with people at the puzzle store. So we asked the poll question, can you have a lot of open conversation with people at the puzzle store?
I like that. I really like Austin a
He's
lot.
great.
He's fantastic.
He just says stuff.
He doesn't have any shame either.
No.
You know?
No.
He's like, yeah, I go to the puzzle store. I love the puzzle store.
Love chatting up people at the puzzles. Yeah, I got a favorite brand of puzzles. It's America.
The puzzles and the calendars and the things like that. Yeah, I would think it would have flipped 1 and 2.
Okay.
But I really like that batch, like you said.
60% of the audience said no. Don't be talking to people at the puzzle/calendar store.
No, man, it's nice. You know, because you're in there, you're buying gifts for people, really. Unless you're Austin and you
rainy weekend coming up and need a new puzzle.
You just want to do a puzzle. You just want to do puzzles. Black Cat says, I demand a recount.
Okay, wow.
He liked that poll question too.
He liked the Con Air one.
Yeah, because this was the month forever in the history of our show. This was the month where we had the light outline of a screenplay for Con Air to the Moon.
To the Moon.
To the Moon.
I got to find that segment because we got some vacation coming up for Memorial Day.
You gotta have a
I
free
don't know
day.
where anything is.
You really want to put some boxes on this? Is that what you're thinking? Oh, you're talking about for best ofs.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was thinking of like you want to take some time and sit down and write the great American novel.
Well, yeah, and probably bang it out over Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
Good list.
Thank you.
Good list. This is your second day in a row with the top 5?
Actually never got to it yesterday.
Whoa. Extra content. What was the top 5 about yesterday?
It was a top 5 Seinfeld episodes list in honor of Jerry Seinfeld's birthday, but I think I did that like 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow. Evergreen content.
But I can't remember, and if I can't remember, the audience can't remember.
Evergreen content.
I was kind of leaning on it.
The top 5 lists are gone. I mean, it's sad.
It is.
It used to be a daily segment on this show.
If it comes up organically, it comes up.
Yeah. And then we just rip one off. All right. Those are the top 5 poll questions of the month of April. We will try and be funnier in May, although the revelation about the whole Con Air flying car scene. It's tough to beat. 1 o'clock hour is coming up. Bill Belichick has released a statement.
Oh, no, he has.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bill Belichick has released a statement.
Is it good?
It's interesting. And a variety of other things in the 1 o'clock hour. The Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone. here lies a statement made by UNC Chapel Hill head coach Bill Belichick, a.k.a. Chapel Bill.
Can't wait to hear this.
A.k.a. Unchapel Bill. Quote, I agreed to speak with CBS Sunday Morning to promote my new book, The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life in Football. Prior to this interview, I clearly communicated with my publicists at Simon & Schuster that any promotional interviews that I participated in would agree to focus solely on the contents of the book. Unfortunately, that expectation was not honored during the interview. I was surprised when unrelated topics were introduced, and I repeatedly expressed to the reporter, Tony Dokupil,
I didn't know how to pronounce it either,
and the producers that I preferred to keep the conversation centered on the book. After this occurred several times, Jordan, who spells her name with an O at the end,
that's right,
with whom I share both a personal and professional relationship, stepped in to reiterate that point to help refocus the discussion. Why was she hiding in the why was she hiding in the corner?
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
So weird. She was not deflecting any specific question or topic, but simply doing her job to ensure the interview stayed on track. Some
Weird
of the clips
that you'd have a girlfriend do a job like that. But
some of the clips make it appear as though we were avoiding the question of how we met, but we have been open about the fact that Jordan and I met on a flight to Palm Beach in 2021. I haven't heard that until just now.
She said yesterday, we told you how we met. He signed my yearbook on a plane.
The final 8-minute segment does not reflect the productive 35-minute conversation we had, which covered the wide range of topics related to my career. Instead, it presents selectively edited clips and stills from just a few minutes of the interview to suggest a false narrative that Jordan was attempting to control the conversation, which was simply not true. Well, Bill, let me tell you a little something about news and how television works.
Okay.
Couple different things. Now, Bill has been around for a long time. He probably knows these things, but let me reiterate it. Number one, when you do an interview for 35 minutes, it's highly likely that not all of it is going to make the final cut. And
I guess
if there's anything that's said in the 35 minutes that is revelatory in any way, shape, or form, it is likely that that will be highlighted in the final cut of the video, and that the reporter will likely ask follow-ups about things that they find interesting, because this is an interview. Secondly, when you do a promotional interview for a book, it is the long-standing tradition that you can go on shows, and shows will have you on to promote various books. We are very experienced in the book promoting category.
I got so many books.
But why are we why do we roll around in the book promoting category, Josh? It's not because we care about the book.
Nah.
I'm interested in the book, but I'm mostly interested in the person.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll ask a couple questions about the book. Why write the book? Why'd you do the book? What's in the book? What are we going to learn in the book? And then you also ask, what's going on with you?
Yeah, what's going on over there?
Yeah. So that's kind of how that works. And this is a disaster. I mean, this whole thing is exploded into a ridiculous disaster.
Dwayne "The Rock" Hudson on YouTube really nails it here. Why aren't they letting it go? Everything they do or say just makes it worse.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why was she hiding in the corner, though?
No, I didn't.
Why was she doing that?
I didn't see the interview.
You didn't see it?
I've seen
it's so funny. I will go find it.
I've seen the clip.
She was hiding behind a desk
But what was the layout of the room as a whole?
So Chapel Bill was sitting there, and it was, chair facing chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then off to the side, off to Bill's left, there was a desk off camera, and she was crouching behind and underneath the desk like she was a little kid playing hide and seek.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't either. I definitely do not trust her. I also didn't understand her email yesterday, which I skimmed. She Instagrammed an email. Did you see this?
Instagrammed an email.
Did
Yes,
you see this?
She did. I didn't read it because yesterday I hit the point where I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not walking down this road with you, ma'am.
She Instagrammed an email. I don't even know what it proved. But this whole thing is very weird. Bill has it appears as if Coach Belichick has sacrificed some things professionally for his personal life.
He needs a friend, a real friend, to sit him down and say, Bill, you've worked hard. You deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But you got to
feel like you were treated with dignity and respect.
So don't play the sound on this.
Okay, we don't.
But there she is. She's hiding behind that desk right there.
She is.
What's she doing down there?
She's so protective of his image that she allowed him to go on CBS in a ratty Navy hoodie with a huge hole in it.
What's she doing over there?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on. Though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace.
Just like twins.
I don't know. This is so weird.
Hey, but we're talking about North Carolina football,
no,
right?
we're not.
That's what Matt said yesterday.
No, we're not. Why did he say that?
I don't know.
We're not talking about North Carolina football at all. I have no idea what's going on with North Carolina football. This is a huge, disastrous sideshow, and it is antithetical to the football Bill Belichick that we have known throughout his entire life. Something is awry, Josh. Something's up.
It definitely, boy, it sure seems that way, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron writes in.
Hi, Aaron.
Oh, we found the one person who Bill doesn't micromanage, and it's his girlfriend who micromanages him. Alex and Lincoln says elder abuse. So we were talking about this before the show. Not to get too weird or personal or whatever, but she's 24.
Uh-huh.
She's too young for me to date.
Clearly not, Connor.
I don't know, man. If I started dating a 24-year-old right now, you'd be like, what happened?
I'm like, what?
I am not 33, Josh. I'm 4 weeks shy of 33.
When you become 70, you tell me if you still feel that way.
Okay. Things change when you get to 70. Yeah. Apparently. All right. So there's your latest update on Mr. Chapel Bill. I hope it all works out for you.
Not going great over there.
No. Hope it all works out for him, though. A couple things here in this segment. Number one, we need to do a study on this.
Okay, investigative report.
Kind of. So Nebraska baseball won last night.
Sure did.
They beat Kansas State. Congratulations to the state of Nebraska exacting revenge on the state of Kansas for all the smoke and the fires.
Oh, yeah.
All three Nebraska Division I programs have now beaten Kansas State. All three of them have now beaten Kansas State.
Interesting.
Nebraska doing so with a walk-off win last night by guess who? Gabe Swansen. Gabe Swansen, who was really in and out of the lineup for all of the last two seasons until this exact point, until May rolls around. I don't know how this is possible, but Gabe Swansen is basically, for lack of a better word, he's basically useless the entire season until May when he becomes when he becomes like Ted Williams and Babe Ruth combined. All he does is hit home runs and doubles, extra base hits. It's crazy. So Bruntz pulled this together from the last 2 Mays. We haven't had a May this year yet, but we're about to, and it's about to be full of Gabe Swansen. May 2023, 15 games, 14 out of 51, 5 home runs, 17 RBI. May of last year, once again, the entire season, he wasn't really much of a factor. 22 of 45. Josh, do the quick math on that one. That's just shy of 500.
Thank you.
7 home runs, 17 RBIs. So, last night, of course, he comes up with the clutch hit. We're on the doorstep of May. We're not in May yet, but it's actually amazing how this keeps happening.
I mean,
Kalen says some people just have that dog in him.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. Why can't he have that dog in him all the time?
I mean, Reggie was Mr. October. Jeter was Mr. November. Gabe is Mr. May.
I guess. By the way, Kenneth writes in.
Hi, Kenneth.
But Omaha is the only team that's beaten the other 2 D1 teams. No, that's not true. Creighton has beat them both. And hasn't Nebraska beat them both? I mean, has Nebraska only played Omaha once and they lost? Because Nebraska's beaten Creighton. Creighton's beaten Nebraska.
People forget.
Omaha's beaten Creighton. Creighton's beaten Omaha. To make this circle complete and 100% complete, has Nebraska beaten Omaha?
Let's see. Postponed Tuesday, March 4th. A 9-11 loss.
Yes, I think that's it.
Boy, that's a way to write it on your website. Yep.
Oh, wow, Josh. Yeah. Okay, so do they have another game with Omaha?
They do not.
That's it. So Nebraska's at the bottom of the barrel as far as that's concerned. That's okay. They have Gabe Swansen, and Gabe Swansen can take May and hit 700. They can take it all the way into the pool play of the Big Ten baseball tournament coming up in a couple weeks from Omaha.
That's when it matters most.
It does. Gabe Swansen was really good at that last year. It's amazing. And then he got super duper hot in the regional. Remember? So I don't know how that happens or how that works. I don't know what the psychology is behind that. Maybe it's just the weather. Get the muscles and the limbs loosened up a little bit.
Takes a while.
Have a cup. I mean, if that would have been the case, then he would have been raking back in Arizona in February too, right?
Well, it wasn't May then.
It wasn't May, but it was warm. So I don't know. We need to look into this.
We need more research.
We need to look into this and exactly what they. We need to have Gabe on the show.
Okay.
Let's call Gabe. What is happening? How is this possible?
How do you do it?
And he'll say, I don't know, but then I want to dig into it some more. And he'll be like, well, we're not talking about this.
His girlfriend will be in the corner. Look.
Yeah. So congratulations to Nebraska for getting the walk-off win last night. Maybe they'll carry it into their weekend series this weekend, which is against Minnesota. I think.
Minnesota.
Creighton baseball. Ugh, gross yesterday.
Whoa.
Bad.
Oh, yeah.
Bad. Not good. Didn't throw enough strikes. Did not do enough to win the game. Okay, one more thing in this segment. Speaking of baseball, what? Do you have some questions about Creighton baseball?
Oh, no, I misread the internet. I'm sorry. Please continue. Forget I said anything.
What were you worried about?
I saw a photo of a handwritten letter from someone named Jordan, and I went, oh, Jordan
Hudson
has released a statement to the statement, but no.
All right, let's focus in here on Jose Altuve. Josh, we don't talk about Jose Altuve much.
We don't.
Jose Altuve is a veteran. He's been around the Astros for a long. He was a member of the Astros when the Astros were in the NL Central.
Oh, that was a while ago.
And they wore those really ugly jerseys. Yeah, I think he was there for 1 year. So Jose Altuve has a lot of equity in the franchise, and he's ready to turn in some of that equity for a request. By the way, Altuve is now playing left field.
That's right,
for the Houston Astros. He asked manager Joe Espada to move him out of the leadoff spot and into the 2 hole for the Astros this season. Why? Because he needs more time to get to the dugout from left field. The literal jog in from left field to the dugout takes too long, and therefore he's got to put on all his gear, and by the time he does that, he's delaying the game, and you're getting a pitch clock violation or whatever it might be. You're just not ready, and you feel rushed. I'll speak to this from experience. You don't want to be rushed walking up to the plate.
Right.
I never really loved hitting leadoff because of that reason. It's just you got to put all this stuff in, and
they got the clock now. You can't.
I know it's all timed out.
Okay.
And so Jose Altuve has taken the approach of basically a slow pitch softball player, a fat slow pitch softball player like myself. Remember, he's only 34 years old, but in baseball terms, he's old as hell. In real human terms, he's a very young man. But in old person in baseball terms, he's very old and decrepit. So he has decided, no, I can't run all the way in from left field to the first base dugout and hit leadoff. This is too difficult for me, and it only affects me in this one at-bat for the game because it's very likely that you're not going to be hitting leadoff in every inning of the game after trotting in from left field. But because of this,
up by a million,
I would like to hit not first. I would like to hit second. Move me down in the order. I understand this has bad baseball ramifications because you want your best hitters hitting more, early and more often, but I don't care. I don't want to be rushed. Would you, if you are in Joe Espada's shoes, oblige Mr. Altuve, tiny baby Altuve?
Yeah, we can probably make it work.
You think so? I'd be like, dude, come on. Come on, seriously.
It does beg the question, okay, but you can run around in left field. Like if there's a ball hit to you, you're okay running there. You're okay running to first, or you're okay running, rounding first, running to second.
I understand his complaint, seriously, but, baseball players notoriously don't really do anything. They don't, especially veteran baseball players. They're not working very hard, really.
Fair.
They're trying to eat healthy, and they're trying to keep their body in appropriate, and sometimes they're doing drugs to keep their body in good enough shape. It's a long grind of a season, Josh.
Drugs?
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
And drugs are the answer.
Well, drugs help. Drugs help.
I cannot endorse this.
They're illegal, but they help. So sometimes they're doing that. And
are you right now accusing Houston Astros Jose Altuve of doing drugs?
No, I'm saying in place of drugs, he needs to get out of the leadoff spot.
Okay.
Otherwise, he'll probably start doing drugs.
Skip. I'm going to have to start doing drugs.
I'm going to have to start doing steroids unless you move me to the 2-hole. Because I can't keep up with these young whippersnappers.
Now that is an ultimatum I would love to see given to an MLB manager.
And guess what happened? Jose Altuve had a request, and he was indeed obliged by his manager. Jeremy Pena batted in the leadoff spot for Monday night's game and went 2 out of 4 with 2 runs scored.
Now, do you think there's a little of, hey, I'm Jose Altuve. I know where the bodies are buried here in this organization.
That's true.
I will not be hitting leadoff.
Yeah. I will squeal.
I'll sing like a canary.
Listen, if I'm going down, I'm coming. You guys are coming with me, and I got the tools to do it.
I know where the trash cans are.
Quote, I just told Joe that maybe he could hit me second some games at some point, and he did it today. I just need like that extra little time to come from left field, and he decided to put Jeremy there. Altuve said, when questioned about his love for baseball after this, I enjoy playing baseball. I love playing, especially with these guys. I like being in the lineup. In the end, if it doesn't really matter if I play second or left, if I lead off or not, I just want to be in the lineup and help this team win. But since he's been moved out of second base and into left field, he would prefer to be hitting second. Aaron writes in,
Hi, Aaron.
Drugs and pounding trash cans. That's what Houston does. Crab cakes and football. All right. Still a couple more things to get to.
Jose Altuve betting second today for the Mariners.
It seems a little bit more permanent than maybe he led on.
Day game against the Tigers, Connor.
You can't do that after a night game.
Yeah, well,
you can't run the left field of the first base dugout.
That's true. That's
day
true.
game after a night game. It's like catching.
Mm-hmm. Lucky he's playing. Hey, Jake Myers in the line.
I tell you what, like I like playing the outfield and slow pitch softball, but if I'm gonna go play left field, it's a lot of running out there because left field, you're going to get the ball to hit to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not the fastest of guys, and I'm certainly not in shape. But I really need to have the third base dugout. If I'm going to be running to left field every inning, I'm because I got to walk there. And I can't walk there all the way across the field. The inning will have started.
You have to be more judicious with your jogging.
Everything
running.
matters more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, back after this on 1620 The Zone. give Rob Manfred credit. I'm sure this was his idea.
He loves baseball.
When players make their major league debut now, they have the debut patch.
That's right.
That's cool.
Chop it up, put it on a trading card.
Yep. Credit where credit is due. The debut patch is pretty cool. And tonight, Noah Cameron will have a debut patch.
Wow.
As he pitches for the Kansas City Royals.
Former storm chaser.
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday he was. So I was watching the Royals last night, and Tampa is going to play a whole season in that stupid stadium, probably more.
They are. I just watched the Braves play there.
And they've done a lot to make it feel like home, and still feels like a spring training game to me when I watch it. Just the sounds. It's not a big league ballpark.
It's different.
And the funny thing is, there's 2 of those in Major League Baseball.
That's right.
There's 2 of them. We're playing in 2 minor league ballparks right now.
Right now.
It's truly amazing.
Sickening.
Yeah. But we have bad owners out in California, and
California way.
The Rays are obviously in a difficult, uncontrollable situation. But we do have a major league type of stadium here in Omaha if you'd like to play here. It doesn't rain all the time either. It's great.
It doesn't rain all the time. There's a big hole where we could put a scoreboard if you need another
There's
scoreboard.
going to be a scoreboard, Josh. I'm telling you. There will be. This is not going to become like the cross. Let me say this. There will be a scoreboard in left center field by the time Crossroads is done.
Oh, hello. That's a statement.
Yep. Put it on the list. There will be a scoreboard in left center field. There might be a scoreboard in left center field by the time Crossroads goes vertical. By the time Crossroads has a building.
It's just a pit in the middle of the city.
That will never build anything there.
What's the one thing that couldn't happen with this project? Hey, if you're going to do this, you have to do it. You can't just leave a pit in the middle of the city that we constantly close Dodge Street for.
We got that library going pretty quickly.
That's right. That library is up.
Scott Docterman had some good stats on the draft and the players that were drafted. So let's look at the Big Ten list real quick.
What's up, Doc?
Ohio State had 14 draftees, Oregon 10, Michigan 7, the cream of the crop of the Big Ten, with those top 3. Maryland had 6 players drafted. Maryland, crab cakes, football, and draft picks. Iowa 5, Penn State 5, UCLA 5. We're in LA. It's us in USC. Minnesota 3, USC 3, Rutgers 3, Indiana 2, Wisconsin 2, Nebraska 2, Illinois, Michigan State, Purdue, and Washington each had 1, and Northwestern did not have a single player drafted this year.
Could you imagine?
Well, unfortunately, I could. Yes. Unfortunately, I could. But there was a study done on the sort of growing gap between the Group of 5 and the Power 5, but more specifically the Big Ten and the SEC and everybody else. We talked about this the day after the first round. Docterman writes, the talent disparity between power conferences and Group of 5 leagues is also soaring. Not counting the current Pac-12, the G5 totaled 18 draft picks. Total. Down from 48 5 years ago. The Sun Belt and the CUSA combined for 18 picks in 2020. This year, they each had 1. The lack of participants from smaller schools became noticeable at the NFL Scouting Combine, with only 22 G5 invitees and 7 from FCS or other programs. In 2020, 51 players from Group of 5 conferences and 14 players from lower levels attended the Combine. So it's even visible in the Combine. Also, we're talking about guys who may have started at FCS schools or started at G5 schools, like the top pick in the NFL draft, who doesn't get credit for originally being in an FCS school. He gets credit for being a Power 5 guy because he went to Miami last. 11 of the 13 quarterbacks drafted this weekend transferred at least once in their careers. I'll repeat that. 11 out of the 13 quarterbacks that got drafted in the draft transferred at least once. Of the 28 interior defenders drafted, 10 moved to another school. Of the 25 true running backs selected, 9 were transfers. The 8 who stayed put for just 3 years at their school. There are plenty of reasons for why players transfer, from improving competition to playing time, seeking a larger paycheck, but potential NFL draft prospects always move up a level if they transfer. It never goes in the opposite direction, which directly impacts G5 programs' draft totals. It's a really good point that I hadn't really thought of. Like, we see guys going down. We see guys from Nebraska go down. I mean, hell, I would say most of the people that have transferred out of Nebraska have ended up at G5 programs or less or nowhere, right? Mm-hmm. But it is incredibly rare, if not extinct and not happening at all, where that player will start at the P5 school, start at the Big Ten or SEC school or whatever, go down to G5 and still, or FCS, and still get drafted, right? Basically, you find out kind of early what the player is, and they end up getting chewed up and spit out. Not that they don't end up being okay players, but they don't end up being, productive enough. I mean, I can't think of too many guys, Josh, who have left Nebraska, went down to G5s, right? I mean, there's been your guys who have left Nebraska and went to Power 5s, like, Wan'Dale Robinson or
that'd be a good example. Yeah.
Casey Rogers went to Oregon. I guess I got one, Luke McCaffrey, but he ended up moving positions and, is now in the NFL. So it's not impossible. He started at a Power 5 school, was playing out of position, and a variety of different things were going on with that, and then ended up at like Louisville for 10 seconds, and then he went to Rice, where he was a really productive wide receiver, and now that's what he's doing in the NFL. But some good numbers there to put some totals to it. All beyond the total numbers, the SEC and the Big Ten dominated the first 3 rounds, combining for 66 of the 102 selections. The Big 12, the ACC together couldn't match the Big 10, who had 29 draft picks, and let alone the SEC. This is in the first 3 rounds, in the premium rounds of the draft. For the 6th consecutive year, the national champion also produced the most draft picks. Ohio State had 14 draft picks, which is tied for second most since the NFL went to a 7-round format in 1994. Georgia had 15 players drafted 2 years ago, or 3 years ago in 2022. All right, we'll take a break. We have our poll questions, and we'll tell you what to watch coming up on the other side on 1620 The Zone. Oh boy! All right. Before we get to the polls, Josh, here's what Husker Twitter will be doing this afternoon.
Oh no!
Yep. So, Marty Brown committed to Miami.
He did.
He did not commit to Cal, nor did he commit to Nebraska. People forget he's from Nebraska. Omaha, right up the street from Crossroads.
Not a huge
so close.
boondoggle.
So close. In response to learning the news that Marty Brown was committing to Miami, Jalen Lloyd, also from Omaha, in fact, attended multiple high schools in Omaha.
Pick one.
Central, West Side, both of them. He said he commended Marty for a, quote, great decision for transferring to Miami. So this is what people are going to be fired up about today.
All right.
Yeah. This is once again former Husker Jalen Lloyd, who transferred from Nebraska to Oklahoma State this offseason.
Might be some talk about that one.
No, we probably shouldn't be.
Right.
But there will be. It's okay. Well, we'll see how that one turns out. To the polls, Josh, at Happer Show.
All right.
On the JTech Instructions on Twitter feed. Is this generation raising chill kids?
That cannot possibly be true.
What did I say before why they were chill, though? That there was a reasoning behind it.
It was early.
Yeah,
right?
It was early. They were chill. I don't know. I'm just going to agree blindly with myself.
No, my child's not chill.
No?
No.
Maybe they will be. Maybe he will be.
Probably too much candy.
65% said no. This generation is not raising chill kids. Couple more. Are there a lot of Gabes in Minnesota? I don't know that to be true, but I'll go along with it.
It feels true, does it not?
69% say yes.
Nice.
Was the biggest problem with the Titanic that it had too much hype? I actually think there's a case for this.
Yeah. I mean,
Look at what happened to the RMS Olympic.
One guy said that it had the Titanic's biggest problem was that it hit that iceberg.
Yes.
Which, yeah,
fair.
Obvi.
Is a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
But would it have hit the iceberg if it wouldn't have been so full of Kool-Aid?
Right.
I'm going to say yes. 66% agree.
Yeah.
Amazing. What a number. And finally, are arcades back? I don't think we're there yet.
I feel like we're about to hit a bubble for arcades. You're going to want to be in on arcades.
Oh, like a bubble, like a good bubble.
Yeah,
like we're about
bubble.
to go into the bubble.
Yeah,
the bubble's not about to pop.
Like the .com bubble or the housing bubble. Remember when those things were good?
Yeah, but those went bad.
Well, arcades will too.
Okay, all right. 66% say no.
If you own stock in an arcade and it goes up, sell.
Arcades are not back. Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We have NBA playoffs tonight.
That's right. I watched Jamal Murray go ham last night.
Wow.
Watched it.
Couple of closeout games potentially tonight. Houston in front of their home fans down 3-1, taking on the Warriors, 6:30 on TNT. Lakers also in front of their home fans, also down 3-1, 9 o'clock on TNT against the Timberwolves.
Awoo.
NHL. Not Canadians. I had to do both parts of that bit.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh, I got to hear that.
Canadiens versus the Capitals, 6 o'clock. ESPN. Washington up 3-1 there. The Panthers Lightning. Panthers scored the game-tying and go-ahead goals in 11 seconds.
The Panthers
late in the third period last time out.
The only thing I know about the Panthers is that they are they get a bunch of people off of TikTok to go to their games.
They do.
What's up with that?
They need social clout in Miami.
Huh.
That is what they do. 6:30 ESPN2. Closeout game for the Panthers. They're up 3-1. Blues and Jets, 8:30 ESPN. That series tied at 2. Baseball on your TV. Tigers are on the air against the Astros.
Jose Altuve hit second in this game. Jeremy Pena hit a leadoff home run on the first pitch. So maybe it worked out.
Didn't give him a whole lot of time. Diamondbacks Mets on MLB Network tonight at 6 o'clock. Game shows are back on ABC. The season 5 premiere of Celebrity Wheel of Fortune at 7 o'clock. This is promised to be the last batch of episodes hosted by Pat Sajak.
What?
We've been told this many times before.
I thought he retired a long time ago.
He has not hosted the daily Wheel of Fortune in months.
Okay.
I believe the last batch of Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, they were like, hey, you got to watch Pat Sajak host the wheel one more time.
I'm so out on Sajak. I'm so out on Wheel of Fortune. And I'm especially out on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune.
Joe Manganiello.
Oh, yeah.
That guy, Tiffany Haddish, and Matt Walsh compete for charity tonight on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune. And immediately following that on ABC, the season 3 premiere of Jeopardy Masters. Last year's champion, Victoria, takes on your boy, Yogesh.
Yogesh is back?
Yeah, it's Jeopardy Masters.
You know,
He's
Josh,
a master.
I set my DVR a long time ago to record all the episodes of Jeopardy,
That's
and
right.
we were doing pretty good for a while, but
Good
I
decision.
haven't watched one in many months.
Oh, no, you're so far behind.
It's been a long time. It's probably since, I don't know, man. It's been a long time. It's been probably maybe the end of, like the start of football season last year.
Oh, that's a long time. You're not going to catch up. I recommend just getting back on the horse.
Just starting back again.
With Yogesh tonight.
I do love Yogesh. He was hilarious.
And the Amodio Rodeo returns. Matt Amodio.
All right.
That's what to watch
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, Josh. Black Cat, by the way, says Game Show Note was catching up on Celebrity Jeopardy, and Mina Kimes was on.
Mm-hmm.
She claimed that Offutt Air Force Base was her hometown.
Her birthplace.
There you go. She is of Bellevue.
She very rarely claims it.
It's good to hear her say it out loud.
It is, yeah.
Omaha Zone. We claim Bellevue, too.
That's right. You're ours.
All right. That's it for us today. Stay tuned for the crossover, everybody. I don't know what's going to happen, but
Happy New Year!
something's going to happen. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is next.